Okay.
Okay, welcome to All Bets Are Off Part 2. It's the Monster of the Week game for the SaltCon game days. We've already gone through and done character creation, chosen playbooks and all of that. So we're just going to kind of go through and explain who the characters are and what their connections to each other are before we launch into the adventure. So Teauhna, why don't you go ahead and start?
Hey, my name is Charlemain, and I am very much a professional, and it's obvious. I'm very determined, and you will see that on my face at any given time. That doesn't mean I'm not listening or that I don't care. But I've made up my mind on that. What I'm going to do, I'm going to do. I am dressed for battle, and it's a hodgepodge. I am a little bit of steampunk, a little bit Conan the Barbarian, Red Sonja, definitely some Star Wars in there, all the best battle gear. And I love it. I work for an agency that has a really important mission. We're going to make sure the youth are always well educated on everything, including monsters, ghosts, whatever their threats are, so that they can be prepared. I am well armed with an amazing assault rifle. I also have a shotgun and a sharp knife, so I can hunt as well as protect. I'm really excited because right now I'm working with Lucas, who I've had the opportunity to mentor, and also he saved me, and I just won't ever forget that, and that doesn't surprise me. What I know about him, it doesn't surprise me that he saved me. And then Carson, I had to have a little talking to with him, and on behalf of my agency, put him in his place. But since then, we've had a really great relationship working together, and it's just, I couldn't think of a better team of people to be working with.
Excellent. Thanks, Teauhna. Mike, why don't you go ahead and introduce the Wronged?
Yes, excuse me. I am Lucas Barnett, the Wronged, and if only Charlemain was around when I was younger, I mean, my life would be completely different. I was not educated in that, and me and a group of foster kids, we used to hang out together called the Leftovers, used to go play in haunted houses and break windows for fun, and one time we ran into some real and angry ghosts, and I am the only survivor of that encounter. And so as such, I'm kind of angry at ghosts and I'm out to get revenge, and I'm now very versed in the supernatural and out to save other people and make sure it doesn't happen to anybody else. That's kind of my focus. I have, untouchable eyes and just wear a lot of old clothing. That's not where I'm spending my time or my money. I don't care about my looks, and it's kind of shows probably a little bit too much. And definitely Charlemagne's a mentor of mine, and I've run into Carson a couple of times, and one of those times is when I kind of went berserk, and he was doing some investigating, trying to find some answers, and I just burned the place down, much to his chagrin. But I can get a little upset sometimes.
Absolutely. Thomas, can you introduce us to the Flake?
Yep, I am Carson Witkowski, the Flake. I grew up in the age of the internet and kind of got into conspiracy theories, and then realized that maybe not all of them are conspiracies. Started investigating supernatural events, and this is how I found Lucas. I was investigating his case with the Leftovers, and he ended up torching the house that I was investigating. With Charlemagne, I've been, I've become a consulting expert for them on supernatural cases. I have searching eyes. I've got a rumpled suit. I like to think that I dress well, but I clearly don't have enough money to necessarily always look 100% presentable. And people don't always necessarily pay me mind. Pretty frequently overlooked.
Thanks. So, because you all work together, you've come to be known as a team. Whether or not you consider yourselves part of the same team, people know you as, oh, those are the guys that hunt ghosts and other weird stuff. I mean, for people in the know, of course. So we're going to say that Charlemagne gets an email saying with a introduction to Charles Tiggs. It says that he has a tip regarding some supernatural baddies that need to be taken down, and that the payment will be significant for the job.
So I got the email. Do I know who this Charles Tiggs is?
You don't.
I heard
However, the email uses perfectly proper grammar and punctuation. It's written very much like a letter, you know. Dear Charlemagne, I heard this about you, and it's signed, Sincerely, Charles Tiggs.
I think I'm gonna give Carson a call. I think that if anybody knows who this guy is, it would be Carson.
Okay.
And I'm not responding until I know this is real. It's too proper.
Okay. I mean, I could use my suspicious mind and just see if it's a lie.
Just be like,
I mean, would this be somebody that I have heard of?
No, you have not heard of him. But looking at the email, you get that he's actually giving you a real lead. It's just that he's old and used to handwriting letters, so an email is just not something he's used to.
Okay. I will let Charlemagne know that, this seems like a legit job.
okay. I think I'm going to reply to his email. I'm going to be like, okay, you know what? Let's look into it. We don't have a lot going on right now. We just finished some projects. We're getting kind of bored, feeling a little sequestered.
Okay.
So I'm going to gather my team.
So he responds to your email, but not with an email. Your phone rings, and on the caller ID it says Charles Tiggs.
What? It says it?
On the voicemail, on the caller ID. It says
Oh, like
Charles.
on a real phone, not a cell phone. I was like, how would I have his number? Okay.
No, he calls you because.
Right. Okay. Hello?
So, this is Charles Tiggs. Where should we meet to discuss this opportunity?
Oh, hi, Mr. Tiggs. I can gather my team together. We can meet at your house. Do you live in town?
I'd prefer if we met at a coffee shop. There's one just a few blocks down from my apartment.
Okay, an apartment.
Beans
Okay,
and Brews on 57th Street.
57th Street. Okay. Okay, we can meet you there today at 4 o'clock.
I'll be there. Thank you. Have a wonderful day.
Bye, sir. Okay, I just am assuming you guys are free. Let's do this. I'm bored. Let's do it.
I'm like, what else am I going to be doing?
Yeah.
Free. Exactly.
Okay, so you show up to the Beans and Brews. It's a typical, chain coffee shop. Terrible coffee. It feels like every other chain coffee shop you've ever been to. In a table right in the center of the room, you see the guy that's got to be Charles Tiggs. I mean, shock white hair, thin built. When you get up, he smells like an old man.
Nice. Gross.
And he levers himself out of the chair and he extends a knobbly old hand. Says, I'm Charles Tiggs. Nice to meet you. I assume you're Charlemagne?
Yep, that's me. Hi, sir.
Interesting name. Please have a seat. Who are your associates?
Well, this is Carson and this is Lucas. We're introduced. Say hi, boys.
Hello, Mr. Tiggs.
It's lovely to meet
Charles.
you. Have a seat. Coffee's on me.
I will order the most expensive coffee possible.
Yes.
It's truly disgusting.
I don't care.
All right. So as you sit down, he starts to explain. There's an urban legend in Cleveland. All of you are from the Midwest. You get to choose where from. I'm assuming that you guys start in Cleveland, so that's just kind of where you're going to be. So this is something that many of you might have heard of before, but he starts talking about the legend of the Pigman. And so basically he says, you know, you may have heard the legend of the Pigman. It's a serial killer who wore a pig head and murdered a whole bunch of people at a meatpacking plant in the early 1900s. He was chased down eventually, and instead of submitting to police, he jumped into meat grinder and died. About a year ago, there were a few murders at the local meat packing plant. I'm suspecting that the Pigman is back. I believe that he's actually doing more harm, and he's actually not sticking in Cleveland. I think he might be going somewhere else. So this is the basic foundation. You feel free to ask him any questions you want.
So where do you think he might be going?
Okay. Charles says he's heard about murders across the globe that sound like they might fit the Pigman's modus operandi. He uses the full word. He says, I mean, I've heard things about Sao Paulo, Brazil, Port-au-Prince, Haiti, Hong Kong, Abidjan. So they're all over the place. I've got news articles that I can send you if you like.
Yeah, and what makes you think that they're all tied? Do they all? Yeah, what makes you think the Pigman's involved in all of these?
All of them are at slaughterhouses, and they've all been hacked apart with cleavers, and pieces of the murder victims have been left in the meat packing area, which was very much what happened in the original case. I'm not alone in thinking this.
You're not.
So I have access to a lot of resources right now, so we can look at all these locations and make sure they're real. So it's always meat packing plants?
Meat packing plants, butchers, yeah. Slaughterhouses.
I know of one in this town. It's near this place in Utah, Logan, Utah. You didn't mention Utah.
He didn't.
No. Let me check this list. So you have news articles, you say?
Yes.
Yeah, if you could send those over, that'd be good.
Yeah. He pulls out his briefcase, pulls a manila folder out, and slaps it down, and he's got news clippings with yellow highlighter all across them. The one thing they all have in common is a similar byline.
What's the byline?
Byline is Rosalie Blazer, reporting for the Associated Press.
Oh, so it's from a reputable organization.
Mm-hmm.
Reputable organization.
Right? News, at least one, it's legit at the very least, right?
Now, there is no mention of the Pigman. It's just a report on brutal murders happening in these different places. But they do seem similar as you look at the articles.
They all have similar MOs and places that are happening, right?
Yeah. Now, it could just be cherry picking because, I mean, all of them have happened, but they're all spread out around the last year and a half.
Okay.
They are relatively dangerous places. But all of the articles are written by Rosalie, or just a lot of them? Okay, interesting.
All of the articles that you're seeing are written by Rosalie Blazer.
I think we need to talk to this Rosalie Blazer.
I agree. Yeah.
Why is she reporting on such disparate locations?
Right. What does she think she knows that she thinks they're all interesting to her? All right, we got to figure out how to get a hold of Rosalie.
Yeah, does he know anything about, has Tiggs had any interaction with Rosalie at all?
He says he hasn't,
okay.
But that he thinks it's a good place to start. He also points out that the first murders in this entire series were here in Cleveland. And so he points to the oldest news article, and he says, "See, here are the names of the victims. You're welcome to talk to them. I'm sure they'd be happy for some break in the case. Nobody has ever been able to figure out who was responsible for this rash of murders. I know the police have no clue."
Well, before we get started, though, I want to make sure you mentioned a sizable amount of money. Now, I don't care. This is my job. It's what I do, but I want to make sure that these guys are taken care of. So what are we talking?
And out of his briefcase, he pulls a cashier's check for $8,000.
That's not sizable.
And he says, "This is a quarter of the total amount. If you can show that you've destroyed this menace, I'll give you the other 18,000 or 27,000. 27. Because it's the additional 27,000.
24.
Yeah, 24.
Hey.
27.
Yeah.
And an amount in the
27.
The rest.
7 in that realm. I'm not mathing.
Why are you so interested in this case, Charles?
He says that he is actually his grandfather was killed by the original Pigman, and he holds a grudge.
I can understand that.
Now, Thomas, as a reminder, you are the Flake. You can detect truths, and
Oh, that's true.
so don't forget to use that when you're talking to people, because that will be an important thing.
Is he lying to me?
About which part?
Giving us the money?
No, he is not lying about giving you the money.
He's lying to us about his grandfather being murdered by the pigman?
Yes. Do you have to do any rolls for that, or is that just your...
No, it literally just says if someone lies to you, you know it.
Yeah, he's absolutely lying about his grandfather.
Because that's the part that really endears me to him. So.
Now, however, unless
Yep.
unless Carson decides to share that tidbit of information,
We will know. Yeah.
I'm just trying to think of how to phrase it to how to confront him without stripping. Why are you lying? And try to make it work narratively that somehow just naturally know that he's lying.
right? I mean, your deception sensor is just going off like crazy.
Yeah. So I'll just say, I think you're lying to us, Charles. What's the real reason?
My reasons are my own. Shouldn't that amount of money be enough for you to investigate this on your own? If people are really being murdered, wouldn't you want to stop it?
You know,
And get paid to do it?
hey guys, what if why don't we look into this person who wrote these articles and just do some phone calls? It's not going to cost us anything. And see if we can figure out what he's hiding.
You can put down another angry ghost. I'm all for it.
Yeah. Okay. So,
Plus, I mean, you've got $8,000 in pocket, even if you don't do anything else.
Yeah, I mean, I don't have a problem doing the investigation. It helps to know why people want.
Oh,
to
absolutely.
do things.
He is not being
What's his
terribly
motivation?
helpful on that front.
Sure.
Now, if you want to try to convince him or to investigate, manipulate someone, you're welcome to try. But I'm not going to give you anything else without a roll.
right.
Sure.
I've got a lot of tough. I can intimidate him maybe.
I could do a manipulate with my sharp, which is a +2.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe I should do that. Yeah, I'll do that. I'll use my I'll manipulate someone and just try and get them to I'll just say, look, I believe that there's this situation going on, and I believe that the pigman may be involved. But in order to get the whole picture, I need to know why you're so interested in this.
Okay. Go ahead and make your roll. So it's a +2?
Yes. Yep.
Okay. So that's a total of 7 on your result. Yep. Meaning,
not great.
Again, powered by the apocalypse. 6 or less is failure. 7 to 9 is some measure of success. So, so they're gonna give you your answer, but only if you do something right now for him.
Okay.
So he'll say, why don't you make some calls, figure out that this is a real thing, and then I'll tell you a little bit more.
I think that's reasonable. I think that's a fair compromise.
Okay. So, what investigative path are you trying to follow right off the bat?
Actually, I'm going to ask him, is there anybody else we should be speaking to besides the author of these articles?
He said, like I said, talking to the victims of the first attacks here in Cleveland might help you, but then again, it might not. I haven't spoken to them myself.
How can we speak to the victims if they're dead?
The victims' families, I mean.
Oh, okay.
I mean, I feel like Lucas is like, oh, we can speak to the victims. I know all about the ghosts.
You could do big magic to summon all the ghosts and talk to them.
Yeah.
Sorry, the victims' families.
Okay.
You could also do some more investigating on the crimes and what actually happened, because very often police leave things out of what they tell reporters.
Yeah.
And there might be some instances of that. Or there might not.
You know, let's look into one that's far away, that seems unrelated.
I mean, do we start by calling the author, though, and getting in touch with her?
You know, I think before that, let's see if we can find some information that isn't her as a source, right? If it's that big a deal, then more than one person should be writing about these things.
Okay.
Yeah. Want to choose a town? Like,
so I can. So what he suggested, you have articles for Sao Paulo, for Port-au-Prince, for Hong Kong, and for Abidjan, which is in Côte d'Ivory or Ivory Coast.
Côte d'Ivoire.
I just feel like the Brazil one keeps standing out. So Sao Paulo, that one, or Port-au-Prince.
Yeah, let's start with Sao Paulo.
Okay, just like.
So what kind of thing are you looking for, and how are you looking for it?
I imagine the easiest thing to do is just start Google, look up the dates and maybe the victim's name in the one article we have, and then Google it and see if we can find any local coverage or any other sources that aren't tied to Rosalie, if anyone else has covered it.
Okay. I will want you to do an investigation check for that.
Who do you want? Which one of us do you want?
Whoever's doing the
Who's
Googling.
Investigating. Who's Googling? My sharp is kind of low. For what I do, it's weird that it's low.
I'll do it.
Yeah, let's let Thomas do it.
I've got +2 in it.
I just have a phone. I don't even own a computer. So.
Yeah, that's a success. That's a 12.
Oh, yeah. Okay. So when you do your search, the first result is the article by Rosalie. However, you also find that there are articles, and what you can piece out, I mean, it's mostly in Portuguese, but you do find some other references to a rash of murders around meatpacking plants and butchers throughout Brazil, not just in Sao Paulo. And from what you're able to decipher, police are stumped. You also find a forum 4 conspiracy nuts.
My people.
Who are talking about the Pigman and how he's murdering across his way through the entire world. And there's debate about, oh, is this really the Pigman, or is it this, Slavic legend, or is it this Indian myth, or is it this, is it just a regular serial killer, or
why aren't they're all the same?
Right.
Same myth, just perpetrated across different cultures.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking.
So you do find corroboration, at least of that instance.
Seems legit, guys.
I think it's interesting enough to at least get some, look into more.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's interesting. Yeah. I think I'd take his 8,000, and it's just, if we're going to travel, I think we need to make sure travel expenses are covered. I don't just want $8,000 and then I buy like a $10,000 plane ticket.
What, the company's not just going to pay for this?
I have some good resources. I actually have an office in Sao Paulo, so if we need to go there, we got a place we can stay.
Excellent. Well, he'll front you another 5,000 for travel expenses, and then he'll say, in response to Carson's attempt to convince him to give him the truth, says, I believe that there is something bigger going on. I don't know what it is, but I just feel in my bones that there is something wrong, and that this is connected to a much bigger something.
So
Like
if
the
it
end
wasn't,
of the world big?
Sorry, what was that?
Like the end of the world big?
And he says, I don't know.
well, if it wasn't your grandpa's death that got you interested in this, what is your interest? Why are you interested in the supernatural and doing all this research in the first place? Are you a fellow hunter?
In my younger days, I did some hunting. Now I mostly sit and play bingo. But I still keep my ear to the ground.
Sounds good.
Ooh, let's do
Yeah.
this. Let me
I'm
call
still
my
suspicious
office
of
in
why he
South.
would lie.
What was
Right.
that?
I said I'm still kind of suspicious as to why he would lie to us in the first place, but
I feel like we need to, while we're investigating, I don't think it would hurt to look him up a little
Okay.
bit.
A good idea.
Yeah. Just
let's do that. Oh, that's bad.
Hey, experience.
Or
Yeah, mark and experience. But
nice.
your Google search for Charles Tiggs doesn't show anything. But then again, he's probably a dinosaur at this point, so a Google search probably is not going to show up much anyway.
Doesn't have much digital footprint.
Okay, let me find something out.
should we?
So with my agency, I can ask for help or gear,
Mm-hmm.
and which means if I want information, then I should be able to get the information about him. It may only be what grades he got in 7th grade, but I should be able to find out a little bit about him.
Okay.
I'm just looking at how that works.
If you want to do that, I will absolutely allow it.
You guys want me to see what I can find out about him through my agency?
Yeah, I think I would like to. Yeah.
Okay, I'm gonna do. It's quite a risk I'm taking doing this, but it's worth it. Where are they? Roll 2.
So is a plus what?
It is a plus.
Because that's investigate, so it's your, or no, is that plus
Well,
smart? I don't know your move.
Yeah, well, see, that's the thing. When I'm using my agency resources, it's a little bit different. So it's not telling me which. I get a plus sharp. I get extra. So I have a -1 sharp, but it's supposed to.
I'll just say that it gives you a +2 because it's subtracting a negative.
Okay. Yeah, I don't know what to do with the negative. So that's an 11.
Okay. Your agency, it takes about a day for them to get back to you, which is longer than you've seen them take on a lot of other requests. And they send you a list of some 50 Charles Tiggs. However, none of them are in the age range you described. The email that you sent along with it was created 3 days ago. And the only Charles Tiggs that might have fit that age range died 20 years ago.
Lucas,
This
it
guy
might
a
be a
ghost?
ghost. He might be a ghost. Lucas, we got to find out.
No, I just want to kill him.
That's true.
Should we start, because there was a case here in Cleveland, right? Why don't
Yeah.
maybe we should
I think,
start there before we head to Sao Paulo.
yeah, I think talking to some of the families here makes sense.
Let's do it.
Okay. So when you're looking through the articles that he gave you and doing your own research, you find that there were about a dozen people murdered, about a year and a half, like in about a 3-month span, which is a lot of people, especially all around one plant. The police investigation stalled out after about 6 months, and they've had no luck finding anything. That's just what you've gotten from your surface. So you know that there are going to be more victims than this and more family, but these are the family members that are willing to talk to you. So you've made a bunch of calls, and you know that Suzanne Hamrick, whose husband Rick was murdered, will talk to you. Tom Kirkman, whose father George was killed, will talk to you. And Yoshi Korn, whose grandfather was killed, will talk to you.
So no, what about any of the people who were investigating the murder, like the head investigator,
You can certainly try to contact the detective, yeah.
detective, or like members of CSI?
The CSI unit, all the evidence has been logged, and they're gone and away from that.
Okay.
And at this point, it's becoming a cold case. So the detectives will talk to you, but they probably won't know anything off the top of their heads. But you're welcome to chat.
I just feel like if there was something weird, even if they didn't, it's not like they would write down, this was weird, you know?
Yeah. Okay. So who do you want to talk to first? Detective, family member?
Yeah, I'm leaning to the family member.
Okay.
But I mean, we can even split up if we want to do this kind of stuff too.
That's absolutely true.
Well, I had a knee-jerk, in D&D, don't
Don't
split the
split
party.
party.
Yeah, I was like my heart started to race a little bit.
Oh, come on. The heart of a RPG is bad decisions.
It's true that. I mean, I don't mind splitting up because most of this investigation, I think, is going to be phone calls more than anything. Although family member, I have a feeling that's a face-to-face conversation.
Yeah, it's probably a visit.
Okay. So, Mike, you've got 3 options for family members to visit.
Mm-hmm.
You've got Suzanne Hamrick, Yoshi Korn, or Tom Kirkman.
Yeah, let's go. Tom Kirkman sounds good.
Okay. So Tom lives in a small apartment. Tom's father, George, was the 5th victim found just around 14 months ago or so. George's dismembered body was found at the meat packing plant. Wasn't found at the meat packing plant, sorry. But the forensic evidence connected the cases. So the same weapon was used to kill him as the other victims. When you go up, the apartment is pretty small. It is, let me look at my notes here. It's pretty clear that this was actually his father's apartment that he's now living in.
Sure.
He looks like he was probably maybe early 20s when his dad was killed. So he's still like maybe 23.
Cool. Well, I just want to be like, Tom, really appreciate you meeting with me. I know this is a hard thing for you, and you just be devastated. Part of what I'm doing and why I'm calling around is we are just with a group that wants to solve some of these cold cases and bring closure to people, and just any any information you can give me, it'd be helpful. If even the smallest little weird detail that maybe seems trivial could kind of help crack the case at this time. But what do you know, basically?
Well, thank you so much, Mr. Barnett, for coming and talking to me. The police haven't gotten anywhere, and I haven't even heard from them for months. They stopped giving us updates. So my dad was out at the bar drinking, and after a shift, he had to blow off steam somehow.
Absolutely.
And he just never came home. And they found him a couple days later. And he was dismembered, and he starts choking up a little bit. He says, I could never bring myself to get into the case too much. Detective Hardman really handled most of the details. He'll hand you Hardman's card. He says, and I'll tell him to give you anything that you want, and I'll sign release forms, whatever I can, but please just find the person that did this to my dad.
Absolutely. That's what we're trying to do, is kind of bring this person to justice and help you get a little bit of closure in this.
Is there anything else I can do to help you? Any other information you want?
Well, what can you tell me? How long did you work there? Did he have any known enemies or anyone that you think may have wanted to cause him harm? Why do you think your dad, of all people, may have been chosen as a victim in this way?
Well, I don't know. There were like 15 victims. It sounds like a serial killer, not a grudge, but I guess it could be. My dad wasn't the most friendly guy.
No, that's understandable.
He was a good guy. He worked at the plant for, 20 years? And, he wasn't a foreman or anything. He was just one of the guys on the line.
What's the name of the plant he worked at?
The plant is the Teauhna meatpacking plant.
And is it still operational, or this get shut down after all these horrible crimes?
It was shut down for about 2 weeks, but then somebody came in and said that, if they didn't get back up and running, the plant would shut down. That plant's a major source of jobs around here.
Sure, absolutely. All right, Tom, I'm just going to give him, I don't have a card, so I'm just going to write down my number on a piece of paper and just say, if there's anything else you think of, or anything, just don't hesitate to give me a call, and I'll keep you in the loop as to what we find out.
Sure. There's also this reporter that was looking around at stuff. Rosalie something.
Okay. Did she talk to you?
Only a little bit. She called once or twice. I told her the same thing I told you, that detective has anything that.
Mm-hmm. And did she ever get back with you or follow up with you on anything?
No, not since she called. Oh, it was probably a year ago now.
Okay. Interesting. No, that's helpful. I appreciate that, Tom. You just take care of yourself, and then we'll be sure to keep you in the loop on anything we find.
Absolutely. Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay. While he was doing that, what were you two doing? Charlemain and Carson. That's the name.
I think I want to talk to a detective, somebody who was investigating this.
Okay.
No, that was kind of my instinct as well.
So do we want to go together?
Yeah, that's fine with me.
Okay.
Okay. Go ahead.
I just feel like that's kind of rude of us. Anyway, so I guess we just go to the local station when we can just call and ask who who was the head detective on this particular murder, or this? I guess because we don't know which. How about the one local? The
Okay.
series of murders locally. Who was investigating it?
And so you get the desk sergeant, and he says, "Which murders are you talking about?"
The ones at the Tallwater plant. Tallwater?
Oh, right, those. Yeah, that was, what, year and a half ago? And you hear the clacking of his keys over the... He says, that was Detective Hardman. And he'll give you his number. And he says, he's got a pretty big caseload, so don't expect him to get back to you right away.
I think we should just show up in his office.
I was considering trying to steal a file, but
Ooh.
So you now have Hardman's number. You can also probably look up, I mean, a lot of times they'll have, the office building where the detectives work out of on there, on a public directory. They won't have the office number or anything, but, the building.
Well, that's okay because based on everything that I do, I mean, this is my job. I don't think I'm going to have a hard time getting a hold of him. I think he's going to talk to me.
Okay.
Yeah.
So are you going to cite your connection to your agency, or are you going to...
Well, in this case, where is it? Yeah, I am, because we're pretty well financed, this particular department of us and ours, and in order to be successful, we've got to have a good relationship with law enforcement. So, yes, my agency connection.
Okay. Using your agency connection, you leave him a message, and he calls you back in about 15 minutes.
Nice.
He says, "You're with XYZ agency." I don't know which one it is.
The agency.
The agency. You're with the agency. Not that agency, the other one.
Yeah. That one.
I heard about you guys. I thought you were just a rumor.
Yeah, no, I mean, we try to keep quiet. Mostly you guys do a great job. You don't usually need us getting in the way. I just have some questions, though. We've been approached. People wanted to know some more things about this strange set of murders, and I know you were investigating it. I know you did a really good job, but I honestly didn't hear much about it. I guess it came under my radar, so I just want to make sure we're all on the same page.
Buttering him up, I like it. Well, he says, "Well, I can give you the publicly available information, but I'd have to get permission from my captain to release any of the confidential details. I mean, given your connections with the agency, I don't see that being a problem, but she's pretty busy, so it might take a couple days to get the paperwork through."
Oh yeah, who do you who's over this division? Who do you have?
He'll say, Captain Charles. Olivia Charles.
Interesting.
Let me just make a note. So I just made that name up on the spot.
did you ask him if he remembered anything weird about the case? Just straight up.
She did, and he said that he could give her the publicly available information. If you want to do a manipulate someone role, he might be willing to open up a little bit more because you're just so cool being part of the agency.
Yeah. Well, and I just want you to know, Detective Hardman, like I'm not trying to get new evidence. I am just trying to get a feel for this. Like I said, it's just new for me. So any sense that you have about this investigation, I just like to know your take on it.
I would maybe mention that you're looking into a spate of similar incidences and trying to see if there's anything that might connect them.
Okay.
He might be more willing to, not that he's not willing, but expedite the process if you're looking into similar cases that fall outside.
That's true. Oh yeah. So I've looked at a lot of similar cases. So I just want to make sure that I'm just not wasting my time,
Okay, so he will actually he'll be surprised at your revelations about the other cases around the world. And he said, mean, I thought it was just local here. I mean, I figured some nut job got the Pigman legend in his head and decided, hey, I'm going to kill some people and use, that old legend as a cover.
Okay.
But
That's good to know. Hey, so do you know this reporter? Her name keeps coming up. Her name's Rosalie something. Have you heard of her?
He was a pain in my backside. I mean, kept on calling, started interfering with the families. She even called the people who went missing around that time. Honestly, that was the weirdest thing. But anyway, I can't give you names. Again,
What do you mean she called the people that went missing? That like she called them before they went missing?
Who around the times of the murders, a number of the people at the plant would just not show up for work for days at a time, and a couple of their families reported them missing. We assumed that they would be the next victims that we would find, but then they just showed up out of nowhere. But I mean, she was calling them. I don't know how she got their names because I didn't give them to her.
Interesting. Do you know anything more about her? Did you look into her, or was she just weird?
Her credentials check out with the Associated Press. I think she works out she's independent, but affiliated.
Freelance.
Yeah, she thinks that these cases are connected to something or other. I mean, I didn't really get into it with her because, reporters, they always twist everything you say.
So, hey, Carson, what do you think? I was thinking that we would look into her some more. Just on our own.
I think she's our next lead.
Okay. So, well, Detective, I was wondering if you could just mention my name to Olivia Charles, just let her know I was here, and I just really appreciate your help. I knew this would be a great experience working with you, so thank you for clearing that up for me.
I'll put through that request. If you don't hear from me in a couple days, just follow up and I'll see where that request is.
Okay, thank you. Thank you so much.
Absolutely.
Okay.
Yeah, that was a productive conversation.
That was so good. I really like him. He's a good guy. So I don't know. I think we should get back with Lucas then. I think let's find out what he found out. And I feel good about looking into this reporter. She seems to know more than we do.
Yeah, she's definitely one of the people that Tom mentioned. He mentioned Detective Hardman too, but you guys have already talked to him, so I think she's the loose end connection in all these.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Maybe at some point we should go talk to these people that went missing.
Totally. They intrigue me.
Where were they?
But if she has been talking to all of them, Detective Hardman mentioned that she had talked to every one of those people who went missing. So at the very least, we might be able to even get a list of people.
Mm-hmm.
That's a good point. So how are you going to find her? It's not like her, contact information is published in the newspaper.
Might be published online as somebody to email.
Yeah, you could definitely. I mean, it's probably going to be, Rosalie.blazer at Independent Press, yada, 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 something.
Right. We can also, I guess we could have asked one of the family members if she left a card or anything with them. That would have been handy.
True.
Or we could have asked the detective.
Yeah, we could have.
You have his phone number.
That's true.
Calls.
That's true. He's my buddy now. You want me to give him a call? Let's give him a call.
Yeah, probably.
Right. Bring, bring.
Okay. He'll pick up. Hi, did you need something else?
I just totally forgot. That reporter, Rosalie, do you have a number or anything for her?
Yeah, let me look it up. And you hear him clacking on the keyboard. And says, okay, so her number, and he gives you her phone number. And her email address is this. Her, again, she's independent but she's, registered with the Associated Press. So yeah, here's all the information you need.
Awesome, thank you. Oh, I appreciate it.
Local?
What's that?
Is she local or is she out of like?
She is. She's out of somewhere further south in the Midwest. We'll say Missouri.
Okay.
Nice. I was gonna say Kansas, but that's almost the same.
Yeah, they're right there.
Yeah.
All right.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Thanks for your time.
Hey, no problem. Hey, could you let me know if there are any job openings there?
Absolutely, we're always looking for good people. I'll put in a good word. Send me your resume.
Oh, excellent. Within 5 minutes, you have it in your inbox. It's not particularly impressive.
There's a nice little bureaucracy in my agency, so it'll be fine. I'll send it through.
All right, so you have her contact information.
Hey, who wants to call her?
Hmm.
I'm tired. I've been on the phone all day.
Carson, you seem like you have things in common with an investigative report.
I can call her.
Yeah, you
Yeah.
got a lot of charm. I think you're the one.
I do not have a lot of charm.
Oh no, who
I have
has
zero-
charm?
I have zero charm.
What
I
about
just
you?
happen to have. I just happen to be able to manipulate people with my sharp instead.
Phew.
Oh, see, there you go.
Are any of us
Yeah,
charming?
I mean, I'm happy to call her and talk to her about the case.
Yeah, let's do it. Do it.
Let's call her via Zoom, then we can all talk to her.
There you
We
go.
like
Yeah.
conference call.
Do a conference call.
I don't know why we're not doing that with all these calls.
No.
Okay, so how are you going to get her to respond to your meeting first time?
I think we should just try to call first and see what
Okay.
happens. Because like our phone number, our area code is in a town that she's investigated.
That's true.
Yeah.
So you ring and let's see. Let me just do a quick test here. Okay, she answers right off the bat.
Sweet.
Rosalie Blazer.
That's you,
Can I
Carson.
help you?
Hey, Rosalie, my name's Carson. I'm just calling you about a series of articles you've written about some murders at some meatpacking place, some meatpacking in the meatpacking district. I was hoping I could talk to you a little bit more about this.
Yeah, I'm just on the freeway right now. Let me get back to my my office. Shouldn't take me more than 20 minutes. And I'll get right back to you.
Is she lying to me?
She is not. She is actually
Okay.
excited.
Okay.
So she'll get
Yep.
there. She calls, but this time she's using like the FaceTime call.
Okay.
She pops up on your phone. Says, so I'm sorry, I didn't get your name. And she's clearly got her laptop next to her as she's staring at the phone, ready to start typing.
My name's Carson.
Carson, last name?
None of your GD business.
Carson.
Carson Daly.
Okay, hold on. Carson, give me a break here. Give me your real name.
Witkowski.
Okay, thank you. Carson Witkowski, you said you wanted to talk about the rash of murders. What information do you have that? What do you want to talk about? What information do you have? Because anything that I can get is good for me.
Well, you know, I was actually more interested in what you might have that may not have been published in the paper. You know, these cases are eerily reminiscent of the Pigman urban legend.
And you just see this really annoyed look cross her. Just, you're one of those conspiracy nuts, aren't you? I mean, I thought that a serial killer that worked internationally was going to be big enough for you people, but apparently not. Apparently, you just have to go ascribe some supernatural something or another to it.
So you think this is the work of a one person committing murders across all continents?
Or it could be like a cabal of murders. I don't know. But ascribing some supernatural ghost pig man something or another is just, it's idiotic, really. I mean, I have more intellectual integrity than that.
So you're telling me that there's nothing unexplainable about these cases other than that they all have happened in very disparate locations and that they have all had the same modus operandi.
Okay, everyone's hacked up by a meat cleaver. I mean, I've got the forensic reports from each of them. I sent them to a friend who works in the forensic department. It's the same dang cleaver that's hacking these people to shreds. You don't have to have something supernatural to get a hop on a plane with a cleaver in your luggage and hack some people up. I don't know why they're doing it.
Are we in the same room? Or are we all together?
Yeah, you're probably.
Yeah, I assumed we were all on the same
Yeah,
call.
we're all like. Well, so were they far? Did they happen far? Sorry, this is Teauhna. Work with the Charlemain. I work with the agency. I'm just curious. So were these spaced far enough apart that a person could just hop on a plane and just from event to event?
Yeah, I mean, they're not spaced terribly far apart, but I mean, you've got a good 20 hours between some of the cases. I mean, that's enough to fly almost anywhere in the world on a fast enough plane. And it's not like any of them, I mean, I haven't done the math, but it seems pretty obvious that they could be the same person.
So I'm assuming then that you kind of investigated to the best of your resources, people traveling to those places.
She's actually send you a link to her OneNote file.
Yes.
I was gonna try and manipulate her, but I guess I don't have to do that.
Resources. Nice.
It has a whole lot of stuff in there. So much that it is a little bit daunting. I mean, it's not something you can easily digest in one sitting. Because I've investigated this.
Clearly. Yes, this looks really detailed.
What's your theory? I mean, you've been through all of this. What's your best guess now? I think you're closer than anybody to this.
I think it's one person who is hopping borders trying to avoid getting caught because they just like hacking people to pieces.
So do you think they're still out there?
I do. Actually, I think that they may have gone into Russia most recently. A meatpacking plant in Russia was closed just this morning when they found human body pieces in the meat being shipped out.
Gross.
Yeah, Rosalie, I apologize. I didn't mean to imply that you don't have integrity or insult your intelligence. I was just wondering what your thoughts were, and I made it very clear that you think it's one person. I do have a question about you called some people here in Cleveland who had gone missing or went missing directly after you called them. Do you know anything more about that?
That is one of the weirdest things about this whole thing is, I mean, you've got, a dozen people who were murdered brutally, but you've got about twice that many people who throughout the course of 2 or 3 months just don't show up to work for 3 or 4 days without contacting family or anything. And all of those right around those times, those murders, yeah, that's weird.
Yeah.
But they all had, reasonable explanations for why they were gone. Now, it seems awfully coincidental, but just because something seems coincidental doesn't mean that it's not a coincidence.
What were some of the reasons that they gave for for not showing up to work?
Vendors visiting family, I mean, all kinds of things. Just not wanting to go to work for a while.
Yeah, I mean, it seems oddly coincidental that many people at the same place the same place of employment would go for whatever reason to just disappear within such a short amount of time.
I'm with you, but there's no. I can't find anything to connect them to the murders.
Do you know
Other
if
than the fact that they were just gone?
did any
They
go
all work
missing that
together.
that never came back?
Well, I'm
Like,
sure that
Fully went missing? No, I mean that they're just not accounted for.
No, nobody.
Interesting.
Have you reported on this newest Russian one? Have you reported on that yet, or have you just found out about it?
I'm just finding out about it today. That's the call I was on just before Carson called me on my way home.
So you're planning on going out there to investigate, or what do you do? Do you do it
Well,
from
I mean,
distance?
generally I start with calls, figure out what I can remotely. If I need to go there, I will, but I mean, I'm working on a shoestring budget here.
I feel you.
I'm gonna put her on mute for a second.
Okay. And it's FaceTime, so you got to cover the.
Yeah, well,
Just one
put
moment,
the
I will
phone
be
down.
right back. You feel free to discuss.
Okay.
I'm wondering if we should go to Russia next.
Yeah, that's I'm wondering if that's brand new, hasn't even hit the papers yet.
Exactly, and
Yeah.
I'm thinking maybe we offer to fly her there with us.
I was thinking that too.
Mhm.
And here's something that you should know. I have access to a lot of resources. I'm very well funded with what I do, as long as I can, as long as it's
Justify
something
it.
that's legit. And we actually have a place, we have an office in Russia. We haven't found out which town it is. I have several offices there. So let's find out which
Yeah.
town we're going to. But yeah, I like this.
Yeah.
Also, for the sake of storytelling, I like this. Let's
Yeah.
get out of town. Let's
Yep. Yeah, and I like
Yep.
the idea of being able to bring Rosalie with us.
go. Mhm.
Yep.
$5,000 is not enough money for 4 of us to fly to Russia. So, you know what though? I'll get the money. I'll get it reimbursed.
Excellent.
Yeah.
Yeah, just use business expensive.
Yeah. Everybody keep your receipts. So,
Cool.
I would like, and we could just do this by phone call. I would, at some point, I'd like to talk to somebody who went missing.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's really weird. Yeah.
Maybe we can do that like while we're waiting at the airport.
Mhm.
I think he's too easily discounting the coincidental nature of it. Like
Right.
Absolutely.
that's more than a coincidence that many people go missing
Mhm.
in
From the
such a short amount
same
of time.
place. Yeah. Without telling anybody. I mean, yeah, you
Yeah.
can go visit family or whatever, but you usually would tell the family around that that's what you're doing.
Yep.
Looking up the population of Cleveland. 300,000, almost 400.
All I know about Cleveland is that it rocks, according to Drew.
So rocks.
Yeah, that's where the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame is, right?
Yeah.
Where the Baseball Hall of Fame is too. No, that's Canton. No. Canton?
I don't know.
Cooperstown. It's Cooperstown.
Where's that, Indiana?
Cooperstown.
Where's Cooperstown? Ohio?
Can't remember.
I'll find that out. In the meantime, we can tell our game master what our plan is.
What's the plan?
I guess we're still on the phone with Rosalie. Did we just hang up? Oops! Oh, disconnect.
No.
We just have to we have to unmute her.
We quickly had that discussion, and then we're gonna tell her, offer her what we talked about.
Yes, we're gonna offer this to she just found out about Russia, so we'd like to see if we'd like to go to Russia, but invite her to come along with us so she can cover the story, and we have her as a resource too.
What town in Russia was this in,
Yeah.
Rosalie?
She says it's Norilsk. It's the northernmost city in the world.
Oh wow,
Oh man, we gotta bundle up.
pack warm. Well, would you be interested in accompanying us to that town to cover the story?
Are you paying the airfare and the hotel costs?
Of course. Well, I'm not, but
I got a place you can stay, but we'll,
One is.
yeah. I have a
Well-
safe house you can stay in.
Give me your names. I'm going to run a quick background check because
Oh, sure, Charlemagne.
strangers inviting me out of the country, got to do your due diligence.
Right, here are my credentials. This is where if you I don't really need to prove it because I am clearly a professional.
She already has my name, but I mumble under my I mumble. It doesn't sound like you did your due diligence with those missing people.
Well,
Not loud enough that she can hear it.
right. And Rosalie, you're just invited to join us since we're already going, and you seem to be looking into the same thing we are, but you're under no obligation. It's just since we're headed out there, we thought we'd invite you.
Okay. I'll get back to you later this afternoon. Carson can tell she is absolutely super creeped out. She is not going to be coming with you. And now she's regretting even sending you her file.
Nice. Too bad. Yeah. I live with Brent. He's like, no way can I take this character the entire journey.
Yeah. No.
I don't know.
She's
She
there to
totally
visit.
heard. She totally heard. I knew she wasn't coming, so I totally said that thing loud enough that she heard it.
Well, and that's totally fine. Thanks. Let us know if you find out anything. We'll make sure that we share, if there's anything we feel like you'd like to know, we'll thank you.
Yep. All right. So are you guys planning to head out to Norilsk right off the bat? Or are you planning on doing some more investigation beforehand?
I think we wanted to talk to one of the people that went missing. At least one of the people that went missing.
Okay, those parts of her notes are redacted.
It's okay, because
But what-
my good friend Detective Hardman.
Yeah, I was going to say, weren't we going to get it from Detective Hardman anyway?
Yeah.
Okay, it has not been a day yet since he submitted that request.
So we wait a little bit longer.
Okay, so
Like
you've
in a
got,
montage.
yeah, you can do a montage. You've got 3 days until at earliest you're going to hear back from him.
We need to get some winter clothes. We got to buy plane tickets.
Okay, so you're collecting materials. Now, your contact, who you now have no reason to trust, but he did indicate that he believes that there's something supernatural about this. So far, you've only looked into the physical evidence and the mundane aspect of the case.
Mhm.
Do you want to look into the supernatural aspect, or just assume that it is it's a mundane case?
No, I think I always assume it's a ghost. That's just the kind of where I go to. So yeah, I think
I want to investigate both sides.
And I'm trusting the instincts of these people. I've had too many experiences not to.
Okay.
Yeah.
So, how are you guys going to go about investigating the potential supernatural elements?
let's see.
I mean, let's go to the meatpacking plant.
Yeah, that's what I was just thinking.
Yeah.
We head off to Tall Water Meatpacking.
Okay,
See if we sense anything.
sure. So, Tall Water Meatpacking Plant, it's a plant that was built in the 60s and has been renovated a couple of times since then. Some of the machinery is still that old because, butchering equipment doesn't change that much. There are there looks like a place on the wall. It's an old brick building. There looks like a place on the wall that used to have like a brass plaque hung on it, which has since been removed. You can tell that the brick underneath is much brighter than the brick on the outside. So it was fairly recent that it was removed.
From
Look,
oh, go ahead.
I was just going to ask you what you think. You are hyper aware of
Yeah, I was going to say, just based on kind of what we knew, if there was areas of the plant that the murders may have taken place in, just to kind of examine that and see if there's any residual, EKG or any kind of residual energies that would kind of indicate ghost presence or supernatural presence there.
Okay.
Investigate that area.
So getting in, it is a 24-hour-a-day plant operating all the time. Because they're dealing with foodstuffs, they've got pretty strict controls of who goes in where and with what personal protective equipment, that kind of thing.
Mm-hmm.
So you're going to have to...
all right, who's good
the
at
only time they shut
manipulating?
down are over holidays.
I mean, I have a 0 charm, so I don't have a negative. The thing is,
Zero charm, but I could manipulate somebody with sharp, but I don't know how I would narratively make that work.
I feel like I should just be able to get in. I can just be like, oh, hey, I'm just here.
Random EPA inspection or FDA inspection.
I don't even know if I'd have to lie, you know. I probably know the person who runs place, the foreman who's on shift right now, because
Interesting.
probably know their kids. Yeah.
Okay. Let me, I'll just do a quick roll to see if I agree with that.
Good plan. No.
Okay, you don't know him, but growing up in and around Cleveland, you do know one of the shareholders. You know, you work at a pretty prestigious place. And so he gets you and you alone a temporary pass to tour the facility under supervision of the foreman.
Can I use my often overlooked to try and just kind of like walk around unnoticed?
Yeah, what's the ability there?
That's when you act all crazy to avoid something. So I'm trying to avoid detection. You roll plus weird. On a 10 plus, you're regarded as unthreatening and unimportant.
Okay. I can see how that would work mechanically. Story-wise, I'm having trouble with the acting all
Yeah,
weird.
I know. Yeah, me too.
You're just the new temp guy. They're always hiring guys at the plant.
You know what? I'll give that one to you.
All right.
So you are posing as the new temp. You know, you're the new guy going in for training.
So I got a 5. I draw lots of attention, but not all of it.
So you're just not very good at your job.
I'm acting too crazy, and they're like, "You gotta get out."
Basically, they're gonna say, "This guy must be drunk. Drinking on the job is a big no-no. You're automatically fired, and you're escorted out of the building by security."
Oh man.
No.
But that does allow your friend Charlemain to get in without being, questioned overly much.
And that was the other thing. I could intentionally or like choose to use that and hope to get a bad roll in order to draw attention to myself.
It's true. That's what I love
Get
about this
experience,
system.
and you get to draw attention away from your compatriots.
I mean, does that mean I'm not escorted? I just went in?
You are still escorted, but the foreman is distracted.
Okay.
So the foreman is Spencer Loza. He is a guy with a terrible comb over, a massive beer belly, and he looks like a slob. It's pretty clear that he's got this job because he's had it forever, rather than because he's actually good at it.
So he doesn't care. So he doesn't seem stressed. Outside of his normal job.
No, basically he just yelled at security to get that guy out of here. And
okay.
Just kind of looks more angry than anything.
So In the meantime, so I'm inside.
Yep.
Carson just got escorted out.
Yeah.
And Lucas is just like,
What am I doing?
I'm
What is
outside.
Lucas doing?
What is Lucas doing? Yeah.
I'm probably just kind of wandering the outside exterior of the building.
that's what I was thinking.
Try
Good
not to
idea.
draw too much attention to myself.
Okay. Let's do Teauhna's part, and then we'll cut to your part, Mike. Okay.
Right, Spencer, is it?
Yeah, Spencer.
Thanks for giving me your time. You know, I'm a vegetarian, so this is gonna be kind of rough, but
And the level of disgust in his eyes as you say that.
anyway.
What kind of American are you? In America, we eat meat.
You sound like my family. Anyway, so this is really unfamiliar to me. So where are we right now? Like,
Well, and he describes, and basically you've got, the parts where they process the beef, then you got the parts where they process the pork and the lamb, and each part has, you disassemble the animal here, you cut it up into different cuts of meat here, you pack it here, you ship it there, everywhere inside. I mean, it's near zero temperatures everywhere.
okay. So you've been here a long time. You must know just pretty much everything about meat packing, meat processing.
I know more, I've forgotten more about meat packing than most people will ever know in their lives.
Wonderful. Okay, so I'm glad. I guess I'm in good hands then. You're gonna be able to show me around. You know where everything is.
And he lets off some innuendo that's entirely inappropriate.
Yeah,
because he's a slob and a buffoon.
Exactly. Yep. Oh, I'm a woman. I know all about this. Okay. All right. Well, I'm just curious. How many people do you have working here?
He says, well, each shift has about 1,100 people on it.
Wow. And it's 24 hours.
24 hours a day, 3 shifts.
Do you have...
We got an hour of downtime between each shift to clean equipment.
So when do the shifts begin and end? What's your rotation?
Just say 6 a.m. to, I don't know I'm not doing the math.
Yeah, that's hard.
Yeah, it's 3 8-hour shifts.
Okay. So that last hour.
Yeah.
And do you have a lot of people, a lot of turnover?
Well, I mean, a fair amount. They're the long timers like myself.
Mm-hmm. Well,
as he brushes back his comb over.
I'm just curious. It seems like a pretty great place to work. So do people call in sick a lot, or?
Oh, I mean, yeah. I mean, you have a few every day. It's not unusual. You can't have people who are sick working on meat that goes out to the entire day.
Yeah. So good. But you have pretty good policies. Like, people don't just not show up, right? They usually call in or something.
Sure, but I mean, my employees love me because I'm pretty lenient. If they have an emergency, they can let me know, day after when they come back in.
Okay.
Yeah. Because
Just,
I'm a nice guy like that.
Yeah, you seem like a nice guy. Yeah. So has anything weird ever happened here? It seems like so many people, like all kinds of interesting stories.
There's something weird that happens here all the time. And he's preening as he's walking through. And he'll just describe stories that are completely off topic.
Nothing like I'm digging for.
Nothing like you're digging for.
Yeah. So, like, have you?
He doesn't want to bring up the fact that murders were done there. I mean, that kind of
totally. I wouldn't.
Buzzkill.
Okay, so you've been here 20 years, so that means you're pretty familiar with the community, all of our urban legends and things like that.
Oh yeah, did you see the plaque out front? I mean, it talks about. Oh.
What?
Yeah, they got rid of
that.
Are
you is that what that? I noticed the wall looked strange, but I figured you were remodeling. What was the plaque about?
Oh, it just talked about how we're on the side of the original Pigman urban legend plant. I mean, that old plant was torn down in the 20s, and
Wow, the 20s. That's some interesting history. So what do you think about that commemorative plaque? Do you think that's pretty cool?
says, well, let's just head on through here, and I'll show you how
Oh God,
the ribs are cut off, and
no.
cut off the back of the hand.
No, okay. Hey, let's keep talking though.
Yeah. You'll
Yeah.
talk your ear off.
Yeah,
Let's
okay, you
go
let
ahead
him just talk my ear off for a while.
and cut to Lucas.
Yeah, I imagine I've got, just some of my ghost hunting paraphernalia, my, EKG, and that's not it. That's for your heart. The other one,
Sure.
PK.
EEG.
Yeah.
Another thing for your heart. But regardless, you've got your ghost hunting equipment out.
Yeah, and I'm trying to be as, inconspicuous as possible as I just kind of walk around the building, maybe try to make it look like I'm getting sick, trying to get a signal on my phone, but really I'm trying to see if there's any kind of supernatural readings still here.
Okay. You are getting some
if they're
readings,
hot spots.
but you do know that in older buildings and on older sites,
Mm-hmm.
there's always some residual reading. So you got to look for something a little stronger than normal. So I want you to do an investigate a mystery.
Okay. I have a +1 on my sharp.
Nice.
So it'd be a
Hey,
10.
that's solid right there. So as you're walking around, you notice that there are old foundations.
Okay.
Off to one side of the building. And so as you're going through, you notice that there is there's an area that is, I'm trying to think of how to describe it well. It just has this sense of you really don't want to go there. It just feels gross, despite the fact that there's nothing really all that odd about it. It's just more pavement, but it just feels gross. And as you bring your equipment over there, it just starts going off like crazy. But the thing is, looking at the readings, it's not the same as you would see for like a normal ghost or a haunting.
Okay.
It feels like something more concrete. Now you can feel free to ask additional questions, things like that. But that's what I give you for free.
Okay. Yeah, I kind of want to dig into it and see if I can find. I mean, I guess with my gear, I'm trying to think would I be able to discover. I guess from working with ghosts in the past, it's kind of my experience that the ghosts are more. It's weird to me that they're all over the place. These happen because usually it's wherever the bones are that the bad things are happening. If it's a ghost, so I guess I'm trying to decide if in fact there is kind of a ground zero here that the mystery's kind of coming from, or if it's just a hot spot that is related to it, or.
Okay. So with your roll, you find a pothole that's been recently patched.
Mm-hmm.
And when you run your little sensor over that, it lights up. Ridiculously strongly.
Yeah. All right. Well, I might try and grab a shovel out of the trunk and see if I can't try and dig up something here.
Okay. Now, let's cut over to Carson real quick. You got kicked out. You're dragged out of the lot.
Yes,
What
and
are
as
you
I
doing now?
do get dragged out, I just start spouting conspiracy theories that even I don't believe. The government is trying to read our minds, and
they're using the antibiotics in your meat.
the viruses are all man-made just so that they can inject you with tracking chips.
Very nice. So you're just trying to draw more attention.
Yeah.
I love it. In fact, I will say that works so well that Spencer, the foreman, excuses himself after getting a call on his radio saying that crazy guy is causing a commotion outside. So he excuses himself, leaving Charlemagne alone for a brief time in his office to go deal with you. And two security guys come out. I mean, they're not, clearly they're, rent-a-cop type police or type security, big guts. They've got nightsticks, but it's clear that they haven't actually ever had to use them. And so they're saying, sir, get off the property. And Spencer's, get your ass off this property now.
I mean, I'll do it. So I'm gonna be like, I will get literally like as little like one step off of the property, and then I'll keep yelling.
And things are just escalating between the two. But they're not leaving the property. You're not stepping onto it, so it's kind of at a stalemate. But that leaves Charlemagne alone in the foreman's office. You're muted.
What kind of filing do we have here? I would think he's got.
So he's got a computer. It's password locked, but he's got probably 5 or 6 3-drawer filing cabinets along one wall.
Are they labeled?
Each drawer is labeled, but it's not in a system that you would immediately recognize. It's not like hey, look for incident reports here. So there's one drawer that has, A to F, F to whatever, so on and so forth down the drawers. There's another cabinet that has that is numbered, has numerical ranges. There are others that have other designations, but they're not immediately clear what they are. Now, if you open them up, you can kind of see what's in them.
Yeah, that's what I want to do. I want to just at least pop it open because I think at a glance you can get an idea of the types of files that are in there.
Okay.
Yeah.
So given that you don't know when he's coming back, to find what you're looking for, I would probably say that you would want to use act under pressure. But if you want to think of a different move,
I feel act under pressure is my thing. Let's do it.
Okay, let's do it.
Yeah.
So you are acting under pressure to dig out something. What are you looking for?
Let's see. I just want to look and see. I feel like incident report, something based on the deaths that happened.
Okay.
Yeah.
Perfect.
It was hard to say because like the plaque is intriguing, but that's different. Okay, so where the heck are my dice?
Ooh.
So 3 plus 2. So I have I think, it's 7 that I was thinking of.
So
I have a
on
plus
5,
2.
you get to mark experience.
Yay.
However, it doesn't go well for you. So you're sitting there opening up filing cabinets, but these are old filing cabinets. They're not well maintained. So every time you open one, screech!
Oh no. So stressful.
Fiddling, and so you're sitting there trying to shove the drawers back in as it's locking up every time you try to push it. Dunking around. And it's just totally not cool. So by the time Spencer gets back, you've looked through maybe 2 drawers, and you finally found out where the incident reports are. They're in that second filing cabinet, ordered by number, but you aren't able to actually get into anything that's from the last, 5 years.
Okay. I feel like I probably, even if I found it, it's taking so much time trying to open and close the stupid drawer. So I know they're there. But
You know they're there. You know which drawer they'd even be in.
Okay.
You just didn't see them. You couldn't get them out because you failed.
So do I get busted? Did I get busted, or I just couldn't find anything?
Yes, you do. He comes in as you're closing the last cabinet, and you hear the thunk as the cabinet has leaned back against the wall and thumps forward.
You could have used luck to make that a 12.
You could have.
And
I
therefore
forgot to
succeed.
remind you of that.
What was that?
But
You could have used one of your lucks to succeed.
Oh, I forgot about those.
Yes. Luck can be very important. Now, it isn't, you don't get it back most of the time.
Yeah.
So once you're out, it's bad. But
Well, if we're going to go to Russia, I feel like the consequence is pretty slim right now in everything that we're doing. So,
Yeah.
yeah.
He gets
I think that's a fair assessment. I just thought
ticked
I'd
off,
bring it up.
and he says, "You out." I'm calling so-and-so who's your shareholder friend. Letting him know that you were only coming here to look at our files. So he escorts you out of the building.
Okay. Fair enough. I mean, I was just really curious about the plaque and everything, but I get it. I should have just waited for you to come back. I guess we go find Lucas.
Yeah. Well, Lucas, you have, did you get your shovel out of the trunk of your car?
Yeah, I got my shovel out of the trunk and I'm trying to hack away at this fresh pothole to see what's underneath it.
Okay, so I mean, it's 6-inch asphalt. It is not chipping away terribly easily.
Mm-hmm.
But as you're digging, I mean, your supernatural detector is still just going crazy in the entire area, especially around where you're digging.
Mm-hmm.
Now, Charlemain comes out. Carson is still yelling at the security about how they're, putting brain worms in all of the food.
Like, we're both just making a scene. This is great. This guy's going to have a heart attack. Spencer guy.
Yeah, he might.
A lot of drama for him.
Yeah.
So in relation to where we are, where's Lucas? Like, elsewhere.
Lucas is out on the back side of the building. I mean,
Okay.
He is probably football field or two away.
Okay.
I mean, it's a big building.
And I'm just like desperately hacking away at the ground when you guys see me.
And
I feel
as
like
you're hacking away, somebody decides to take a smoke break behind the building.
no.
Hey, what are you doing?
Have you seen the potholes around here, man? This is horrible. This is unacceptable. They did not fill this properly. You guys got a pickaxe around here? I need this. We got to do something about this.
No, I don't have a pickaxe. Facilities management does that. They're on the other side of the complex. Wait, are you facilities management?
I am a concerned citizen, worried about street safety.
Dude, this is a private parking lot. Get out of here.
Right.
Sounds like a real employee. Like, I'm not going to be bothered. Just go away.
Yeah, seriously. Right. Look, man, just enjoy your smoke break and let me fix this problem. I should be done. If I had a pickaxe, I'd be done a lot quicker. But just let me take care of this.
Whatever, man. Tosses the cigarette down, snubs it out, and walks back in.
Has anybody got a pickaxe? I have the wrong tool for this job.
Just a phone.
So he's going to be there for a while with his shovel.
Mm-hmm.
He's not caught
Nothing stops me.
by somebody who actually cares.
So
What do you,
I was thinking, so I'm still being escorted and I'm essentially near
basically,
Carson.
They take you off past your buddy Carson, who's still yelling.
I feel like as I'm going past Carson, I just want to tell him, you need to grab somebody. I want them to try to make an incident report or something. I'm going to have to go back to the office. I don't want you to hurt anybody. Just grab someone, grab their arm or something.
All right, I'll reach out and try and grab one of the security guards' clubs.
Okay. I'm assuming you're attempting to kick some ass?
Sure. It's not going to go well for me.
I'm the one who should be doing that, but
Yeah, it goes horribly. So I've got a -1 on tough.
Oh gosh.
Oh no.
Oh gosh. This is awesome. All right. So you grab his arm and start grabbing for the baton, and the other guard, who, I mean, he's never actually gotten to use it, and he just gets excited, and he pulls out his baton, and he just whacks you across the arm, and you just feel the bruise happening right now. You know it's going to be glorious. You know, black and purple, yellow, all the way down your arm. It feels like your bone almost broke, and you're just sitting there going, "Ow! Take one harm."
My meters are going crazy. There's a recent pothole here covering something up, and all I've got is a stupid shovel. But I'm trying to get to the bottom of this. Do you have a pickaxe?
You know, we can get one, but I think you should come back and join us. We kind of caused a scene here. I think that we've used up their patience. Just join us. I've got some stuff I can tell you.
I think I've dug enough, made a scar at least enough on the pavement that I'll know where I was. You're right. Getting the proper tools would be better. Okay.
Yeah, let's do that. Yeah, and we'll come a different shift, maybe night shift.
Okay, sounds good.
Okay.
As you're leaving, the security guard's like, "Hey, he doesn't belong here." And the guy who hit Carson gets his baton out and he starts chasing you down. I mean, he's just a big, overweight guy, so he's just kind of lumbering after you as you're running with a shovel.
Sorry, wrong parking lot.
Yeah, that's good.
Okay, so you guys get together. Are you waiting for night shift?
Well, I should tell you guys, I found where he keeps the incident reports. I don't know if that's going to matter. I don't know if we need to look into it, but I know where it is. There was a missing plaque inside. Like, there was this huge spot on the brick wall that used to have a plaque, and it was commemorating the fact that the previous meatpacking plant that was built here was the site of the pigman.
Yeah, well that maybe
It's a weird thing to put up a plaque.
Yeah, right?
It's more just to, hey, look, tourist attraction.
Like a historical marker type thing. It was
Yeah.
weird. But they said it's missing. That's the thing. The plaque isn't there. He said it was missing.
Okay.
Oh.
Yeah, there's like this weird spot on the wall.
Did they take it down, or did like somebody steal it, or do you know?
He didn't really want to talk about it. He was weird about it.
Interesting.
Yeah, he said he's pretty cool. Like so as far as, the people who went missing, I don't know if he would have noticed they weren't even on shift. Like, a lot of times they tell him after the fact that they were gone. So I don't know how much he even pays attention.
May not even registered for them, huh?
Yeah.
That's weird that Rosa was able to get that much information on them.
Yeah, I think we need to, is this all on the same day? Are we still in the same day?
Yeah, you guys, well, I mean, we'll say that it's like a day later. So you're halfway to your getting your information from the detective.
Okay, so we don't really have any. Not that we may be able to look in some local news, like if we go to the library or something, we could look up local news and find out about missing people.
You can look up missing people. You can also look up information on the urban legend. You can look up. I mean, there's all kinds of stuff you can still do.
Yeah.
If you guys want a prompt, I'm happy to give it to you.
What I want is for this not to be too boring, right? Just all of us sitting there reading.
Yeah.
Like,
Well, then I would suggest that Carson just kind of feels like, well, I mean, if there's something supernatural and old dude said we should look at Pigman, maybe I should look more into Pigman like Charles suggested.
Okay. Let's do some investigation on Pigman.
Okay. Now, all of you can do your own investigation because, I mean, you have different avenues of looking for stuff.
What's going on? Why did you curse my rolls?
yeah, mine
The
suck.
worst, Brent.
Mm-hmm.
So, what's your
You know
total
what?
on that?
Real dice, right?
Yes.
Yeah, I don't like the digital ones. I have
Feel
I
free
like
to
pseudo
pseudo one.
an old person paranoia surrounding the digital.
Got a 9.
A 9? Okay.
Yeah.
So, What do you
So
want
it's in
to
the
know
same
about
bracket of
Pigman
success.
legends? Sorry, what's that?
Said it's the same level of success
Yep.
as with my digital dice. Well, sorry, what did you ask, Brent?
What method are you using to find this information, and what do you want? What are you looking for about the Pigman legend?
I'm just going to do an investigate. I'm going to, let's say I'll reach out on the internet, see what, the collective knows.
Okay. So you gather that the Pigman legend was actually based on a set of real events that happened. There was a serial killer, although they weren't called that at the time, who wore a mask and killed a whole bunch of people. There are rumors floating around that he was part of some death cult. Others saying that he acted alone. There's some people saying, oh, it was this guy, and others saying, no, this historical figure was actually the person. No, it was actually the mayor of Cleveland at the time. So there's a lot of conflicting information, but you do know that there were actually, around 25 people killed by the Pigman before he disappeared. His death by meat grinder is anecdotal, so it's part of the legend.
He died.
That he died by jumping into a meat grinder rather than being caught by police.
How long ago did this stuff occur?
They're saying like 1910, 1915.
And this we're in now, right?
Yeah, you are
In the
that.
good old 2020.
Yep.
There ain't nothing good about 2020. What are you talking about?
So that's what you were able to find out with your 9. Are you guys going to do any looking on your end?
Yeah, I'm thinking that for me, I think I want to look into some school records and just look into just the person. Well, we're looking for people who went missing, right? That's really what we're trying to figure out.
I think
or just in general.
Into the Pigman legend. You can.
Okay, so I think I want to look in school records around that time, just like a connection to that, like whether there was a child of the Pigman, whether that person was a student in our community. Yeah, look into some school records and just find out what we can know about him as a person, not just Pigman.
Okay.
Right.
Yeah, go for
Who
it.
was he before he started going crazy and killing people?
Yeah, which I don't know. This is with my resources again, so it's
okay.
Yeah. So you have a 7 + 2, so 9.
Nice. Okay.
It's okay.
So, because you're looking into who the Pigman is, you're able to get 2 names that are potentially the Pigman. These are both people who worked at or near the meat plant at the time, and both disappeared. So there was Gary Guess, and there was John Sloots.
John what?
Sloots, Sloots.
Okay. And I mean, I would be able to see their ages and things in there, like,
Yeah.
so
They were both viable suspects as the Pigman.
Okay.
Both disappeared. Both worked at or near the plant at some point during the time of the murders. And after the murders ended, neither were heard from again.
Okay.
Now you can do more, deeper digging on those names to find out more information. It is possible to find out who the Pigman was. I will tell you that now.
Okay, well then, I mean, if it's possible to find out who I just want to find out if one of these was the Pigman. Just
one of them was the Pigman. You don't know one.
Okay. Oh, I see what you mean. I see what you mean. I want to look in. So they worked at or near the plant. I would want to figure out which one worked at the plant versus near the plant. So let's look into Gary and find out where he worked.
Okay, Gary actually was a theology student under an old-timey preacher who went by the name Teauhna Valentino.
Weird. I like that old-timey preacher. Where did Teauhna Valentino come from?
He was the child of Italian immigrants, lived in Ohio from the time he was a child.
Okay.
There is actually there are web pages using that name, showing an old guy, but I mean, given that he was an adult in 1910, it's got to be a different guy, right?
Sure. Like
I mean, sure, the Teauhna Valentino now looks old as dirt, but...
Okay, so, I mean, he was a theology student. Does that mean he did not work at the meatpacking plant?
He did not work at the meatpacking plant.
Okay, so John Slutz did.
He did work at the meatpacking plant.
Did they have any family? Either one of them have any, like, wife and kids and stuff?
John did. They survived him, but they left Ohio. At some point, you kind of lose track of him after a bit. During the 30s.
Okay, so John had nothing. He was just him.
Yeah.
Does he have family in town now?
No.
Okay. I feel like, what do you guys think? Did I dig? I don't know. It seems like
Well, what did Gary do besides be a theology student? Like, what made him a potential suspect, I guess, if he wasn't at the plant?
I think the fact that he disappeared.
Just the
He
disappearance.
disappeared. He was near there.
Mm.
It's just one of those things that was recorded that he was a viable suspect.
Okay.
He had a violent past, that kind of thing.
Didn't everybody?
At that time, a lot more people did.
Yeah. I mean, I'm probably going to want to explore Teauhna Valentino more as we...
Okay. Yeah, absolutely. And so I assume Lucas is going to go out with a pickaxe?
Yeah, I think I'm spending most of the day just getting the right tools to dig that up. And also, like, see if I can find like a couple orange cones or whatever, so if I go back there I don't look completely crazy.
Okay.
Maybe like a vest or something.
Yeah, there you go.
Okay, I'll have you do a roll for that in just a second. Between Carson and Charlemain, as you guys do deeper searches, you figure out that somebody going by the name Teauhna Valentino has a bunch of websites out talking about, they look innocuous enough at first, but it talks about, gaining immortality through, the peace of worshiping the right gods and yada, yada, yada. Come join me at my compound in Argentina. And as you dig deeper, it's a death cult.
Super fun.
Like you do.
Yeah, any investigation on the internet is going to lead to a death cult.
Right? But as you do that, you get the clear sense that Gary is your guy. I mean, it's pretty clear.
Okay.
They did something. Okay,
Which
let's
is, yeah, sorry. So sorry. I was ahead of myself. Continue.
You're good. Let's cut to Mike and Lucas. You go to the back there. I want you to let's do manipulate someone. I know this isn't your best trait, but let's see if you can pull off being a utility worker.
Okay. Me? Do you want me to roll that?
Yeah.
I have a +1 charm, so let's see. Yes, that's a 3.
Go ahead and mark an experience.
Nice. We all get experience.
I know. And this is actually good. This is something, because we're going to have like the grand finale that you guys can participate in if you want to tomorrow. Your characters will carry over to that. So all of the benefits you gain now are good things for that.
Woohoo. So we need to F up a lot now so we can level up.
Yeah. It's exactly. No, low rolls are fun.
I agree.
As you go there, you set up your orange cones, you get out your pickaxe, and you just start wailing on this pothole.
Mm-hmm.
And the biggest problem is not that you're not passing as a utility worker. Most people just don't care. It's that chips of the asphalt that you're digging up are flying off and hitting somebody's antique car that they drove to work that day, just chipping little flecks of paint off. Ting, ting, ting. And so somebody comes up and they are just livid. And it's this big burly guy. I mean, it looks like the only things that matter to him are his job, working out, and this car.
Perfect.
And he is going to get in your face and he's going to try to beat you up.
Okay.
So how are you going to respond to his fury?
Oh, man. Let's see. That's a good question. Well, I do have a pickaxe in my hand, so that's probably not the best way to go. I just try to play it off as like, this is just a job I'm doing. I'm just like, hey, man, I'm just doing what they tell me. You're right. I didn't mean to get in your way. I see you're right. I wasn't paying attention. I was doing my job. Tell you what, you tell my boss I did a bad job, and maybe I can get transferred to somewhere where I don't have to use a pickaxe. I could just, dig a ditch or something. Just a job, man. I'm whatever. I'm sorry. I'll get out. I'll get out of the way.
Manipulate again. Let's hope it goes better this time around.
Come on. There you go. So that'd be a 10 with my +1.
Nice.
He says, well, I'm filing a complaint and you guys are going to pay for the damage to my car.
Absolutely. You make sure that my boss, Tom, is on your report. Tom. And it's spelled weird. It's THOM.
3 spots to the right. And you go back, as he goes back into the plant, you hear him cursing to his coworkers. That M-heifer was dinging up my car with the stupid asphalt.
Oh, right.
But you're able to finally,
go back to work.
Most of the night, but you're able to dig up a big enough hole.
Mm-hmm.
Underneath the pavement is some sub-layer of gravel and whatnot. You dig down past that. And there are bones all around underneath there.
Mm-hmm.
Most of them are animal bones.
Okay.
However, there are, just by pure luck, you find a human humerus.
Funny.
Yeah. I just want to kind of examine, investigate, kind of examine the bones and see if I can see anything weird about them.
Sure.
They were used in some kind of ritual, or they're broken, or just what the state of the bones.
Go ahead and investigate.
Okay. Do you have a +1 sharp?
Nice.
So 10.
As you dig down and look more, there are a lot of them. I mean, sure, there are a lot of different bones under there, but you find, at least 3 tibias.
Wow.
And they're all of different sizes, but the thing that you notice most is that they're all cut in a similar way.
Hmm.
And it looks like there's a heavy blade that was used to cut through the joints. So you're getting a pretty clear sense that this was the original site of all the murders.
Okay. Yeah, I think I'm gonna leave the hole so that it could be discovered by other people. But I want to grab one of the tibias. That's not quite as big a bone as the humor says, and kind of sneak that off the site as I leave.
Okay.
Just like shove it down your shirt.
Yeah, off my sleeve.
Okay, well, I mean, that's not a problem. I mean, people are wondering why you left a big old hole in the middle of the drive or in the middle of the parking lot, but they're not bothering you.
If I see anyone, I'm like, something's wrong. You may want to get a Spencer involved in that.
I was thinking that poor guy, man.
All right, so you meet back up. It's now late at night on the second day, so tomorrow you should expect to hear back from the detective, assuming the captain got to the request.
I feel like they did.
Yeah, they did. Especially given that the detective was very much excited about the job opportunity that he might have.
Oh, totally. And I did forward his resume. I didn't lie.
All right. So what are you going to do with that bone?
Well, I might see if I can't get some of my contacts to see if we can't get like a seance going and talk to whoever the bone belonged to.
That's a good idea.
Okay. Well, we'll get that going. We'll just cut to the next morning. You get a call from Detective Hardman. He says, "I've gotten permission. What do you want to know? I can give you a lot of details on things."
Oh, he called me?
Yep.
That just makes sense. I don't know why I didn't think that. Okay.
Yeah.
So I'd like to know a couple of things. Did you know that the plaque is missing at the meatpacking plant? That historical?
Oh yeah, they took that down after the murders. I guess they figured it wasn't great to advertise something that somebody copycatted.
I guess that makes sense. Where they had it in the first place, but what, small town.
Yeah, it's a piece of local lore. I guess they thought they could get something out of it.
So I was really curious. Do you know? Do you have a list of the people who went missing, and for no reason?
Oh yeah, and he gives you a list of about 25 names. Says most of them actually moved, but there are a few of them that are that have stuck around. Let me.
Where did they move to? Argentina?
No.
Not to a death cult.
No, not to a death cult.
It would be so easy, right? Oh, Argentina.
Says but I mean there are a few people that are still working at the plant. There's Romeo Otto, Chara Fullington, and Spencer Loza. Yes, the same Spencer.
So her buddy Spencer.
They all
no
were
wonder he's stressed.
reported missing, but I mean they came back after 2 or 3 days.
So Spencer, Romeo, what was the other name?
Chara, Chara.
I don't know what else to ask. I lost my creative juices.
Sorry, I know that sometimes investigation can be tough. I'm trying to keep it moving.
I'm also starting to wonder if we're going down a rabbit hole we shouldn't be. Maybe they are just people that took time off.
I feel like, I mean, Spencer was telling, he's an interesting fellow, that guy. I know you guys didn't really get a chance to meet him much. You saw him for a second, Carson. He's an interesting combination of doesn't care about himself and is angry, but he also wants to be known as like the cool guy. Like he likes to be in charge, but he also, I don't know, he seems indifferent about the job itself. It's weird to be doing that for 20 years. And yeah, so I don't know. He was a strange guy, but I don't know anything about these other two people. Now that I will say their names are interesting. Chara makes me think of Argentina, and Romeo, that's a lot like this guy, Teauhna Valentino, I heard about. Like, it just could be coincidental, though.
Yeah, given what you've found out about the death cult, do you think it's Argentina we maybe should head to instead of Russia? Or do we still think Russia is the way to go?
I don't know, because the thing about Russia is it's new, right?
Yeah,
So it's a new murder. It hasn't even been reported yet.
True.
In the meantime, we have Detective Hardman on the phone still, I think. He's just sitting there.
Oh.
Yeah. Do we have anything else we want to ask him? Maybe sent the list.
Sorry.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't think so.
I mean, I could ask him, hey, do you know, I met Spencer yesterday. What do you think about him? Have you had a chance to talk to him, Detective?
Spencer is as lazy as they come.
Yeah.
I don't know how he's kept his job.
I feel you.
But, I mean, the other workers seem to like him well enough as long as he doesn't get in their way. I've had to investigate a couple of harassment claims against him over the years, but unfortunately, they've never come to anything.
Like sexual harassment or just regular?
Oh, yeah, definitely, yeah.
Oh, yeah, I met him. This doesn't surprise me. Okay. Okay.
Yeah, he's not the greatest guy, I got to tell you.
It wasn't my favorite experience meeting with him, but I don't think I made his day very nice either. What about Romeo or Chara? What do you know about these?
Romeo was played football here in high school. Big name. Never got at least as far as that went, never got recruited to play college ball. Got a job at the plant, and over the last year or two, he's just kind of let himself go. Chara, on the other hand, I mean, she always seemed to have it put together. She's got a kid in 3rd grade, but I mean, you work at that plant, it's pretty much a dead end. I mean, it's a way to make a living, but you're not going to get anywhere in your life.
Is she married?
No. Nobody knows who the dad is.
Okay. You guys have anything else you want to ask the detective? No? Okay, well, again, thank you so much for getting back to me. I appreciate it, Detective.
Yeah, I can't wait to hear from your HR department.
Oh, totally. I immediately sent your resume over there, so I did not hesitate.
All right.
Okay,
What's
thank you.
next, then?
Thank you, sir.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, so I would like to say that I'm intrigued by Chara, the fact that she has a child. There's something about that that's interesting, and that we don't know who the father is. That one's interesting. And I mean, the Spencer, we did meet him already. I don't know how much he's going to want to talk to us. Yeah.
Probably not at all.
Right. He may not recognize Lucas because he just ran by, but 2 of us, I don't think so.
Yep. So
where do you want to go?
Hmm.
I will say maybe if we take like a cake over to Spencer, maybe he would be like, oh, hey, sorry. We'd apologize.
You really only need to talk to one of them, so you just choose one and we'll go from there.
Yeah, let's do Chara, the single mom, the kid that isn't, yep. Mm-hmm.
Okay. You go over to her apartment. She works the night shift. So when you go over to her apartment, you can see all the blinds are drawn. The blue recycling bin on her porch is filled with empty vodka bottles.
Aw.
So, are you guys gonna knock? What you gonna do?
So it's still morning, right?
Yeah, it's still mid-morning.
That's so rude of us.
Can we hear a baby crying? Or how old is the kid?
Like 8 or
Detective
9.
said 3rd grade.
Oh, okay.
Wait, what time of year are we? When are we?
It's during school,
Okay, so the kid would probably be at school,
probably.
hopefully. I don't know. Let's just do this. I mean, we're here.
We're here.
Yeah.
Okay.
You
So
know,
you knock on the
I'll
door.
knock on the door. I think that I maybe even have talked to her before, so I'll do it.
Okay, we'll see. So you knock on the door and wait, and you knock again, and then you hear grumbling on the other side of the door. The slat blinds pull down for a second as she looks out at you, and then she opens the door just a crack, and you can see a chain just above where her eye level is. She says, "What do you want? I'm sleeping."
You lying about sleeping?
Oh, she
Really?
was sleeping. Now,
Like-
She might just be hungover. I don't know.
oh no, she's definitely that too. But
Okay.
Right. Say, sorry to bother you. I know you probably work nights. We had some questions. We're looking into something that happened here in town, and we thought you would know something. We thought that you'd be the person to go to talk to.
you thought I would be the person to go to?
You know, I feel like somebody who's got a child, so you're more active in the community. Like you would know a little better. And by the way, my name's Charlemain, and I am with the teachers union. So.
Oh, so you're here to talk about taking my kid away again?
Oh, absolutely not. If there's anything we can do to help you, I'd rather be here to help you. I'm not going to try to cause
that's
more.
what they all say. So you need to manipulate her into letting you in.
Okay.
Now, somebody else could step in if they wanted, or you can just keep.
You may want my manipulate's not. I mean, I have 0, so it's not negative. But you should know that I'm not lying to her. I have not lied.
Okay.
So.
Yeah.
Okay. So what do you guys want?
Except about the teachers union. Well, no, you're part of that. That's part of your organization. There you go.
It may be the organization. You don't
Maybe.
know. So what, should I roll?
Yeah, go ahead and
Yep,
roll
roll.
manipulate someone. Plus charm.
Oh my God! I got 11.
Oh, okay. She actually believes you.
Well, because it was true.
Yeah, if you actually care. Just, I just got Annie back from foster care last month. I can't stand to lose her again. If you can help, fine. She unbolts the latch, lets you in.
Sweet.
Her apartment is actually pretty tidy, but it looks like it's more out of habit and desperation than because she actually cares. There are more empty vodka bottles in another recycling bin near the sink. You can tell that she is a heavy drinker.
Okay. So, do you mind if we have a seat? You don't need. I know you're tired. You probably were working all night.
Oh, sure. And she clears a blanket and an old pillow off the couch and tosses them into the corner.
Okay. We have a seat.
So it's pretty dim in here. All the curtains were drawn. But I mean, there is
Okay.
like a lamp on.
So, I mean, I can see that maybe you're having a hard time. I know it's hard to being a single parent, and you're working night shift too, so it's just exhausting. How are you feeling? How's it going?
Things are better since I got Annie back, but it's tough. It's tough working here and dealing with things.
Just what things? Like, I'd love to be able to see what resources are available for you.
They took Annie away after I missed a few days of work, and I know I have a drinking problem. I'm trying to work on it. It's so hard.
So you missed a few days of work?
Yeah, I'd rather not talk about it.
Okay. I know it can be hard, especially if you don't get sick pay or anything. That can be rough. So drinking, so I mean, you recognize that you're probably drinking more than you should. Is there any reason for that? What do you
Life
think?
is just hard. I mean, it's hard to deal with things, and it helps me get through the day.
Are you drinking more than you normally do?
What? That's not a
Well,
very nice question.
so when you missed a few days of work, is that when Annie went into foster care?
Yeah, they found out I wasn't home and they took her.
Oh yeah, I bet you were worried about her.
Yeah, I was really worried.
Okay, I know that you don't really want to talk about it, but we want to make sure you're safe. So is there anything you can tell us about when you were gone?
So you will have to manipulate her again to get her
Okay.
to open up.
Okay.
You or somebody else. You're all in the conversation, so I know that Charlemagne's been doing most of the talking, but you guys are still around. You can also do some investigation.
Yeah, I think.
Around the apartment.
You know what? Before she makes her manipulation roll, maybe I just want to take the. Could I take the help out action and just kind of by explaining, my story of growing up in the system and
Well, that's a great idea.
I still understand how bad it is to be in the foster system. So the last thing we want is for Annie to end up in the foster system.
Oh yeah.
And then that might help her get a little bit of boost on her roll. Of course, it could also not.
It could not.
7 on the help out.
And your bonus is
0.
0.
Oh, but that still exposes me to trouble or danger, but it will give you a +1 on your roll. So
Okay. So you want me to
I'll
roll?
let you know what danger that exposes you to in just a moment.
Okay.
It's time for me to roll, right?
It is. Go for it.
I got a 7 plus 0. So
Okay.
Plus my 1.
plus your 1, so I got an 8, which is still in that
same.
range. Yeah.
Okay. So she says, you got to promise not to tell anybody. But I was with Annie's dad.
Oh, is that a good thing? I mean, I'm not sure if that's good or bad,
Here's the thing. You get the sense that it's not good, but he wasn't a good person for her, but she always will end up going back to him. However, Carson immediately gets the sense that is a lie.
I'm not gonna
To the rest of you, however, it seems like it's completely upfront. It's just the right amount of hesitant.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not gonna be aggressive, like, hey, you're lying. I'm just gonna so why are you so hesitant to tell us about that?
Annie doesn't know her father, and quite frankly, I don't want her to. And people would think less of me if they knew who her father was.
Why is that?
He's not a good person.
Is he from here? Is he? Maybe I know him. I mean,
I'm just not willing to tell you who it is. I'm sorry.
Oh, that's okay. I was just curious.
Too ashamed.
I know a few people who kind of suck, so. I mean, we have a whole space we can investigate too. There's 3 of us.
Yep.
Yeah. I'm just trying to figure out a way to be able to use my seed all fits together.
Yeah, that'd be a good point.
So I can manipulate her.
Recommend it.
I'm narratively, I'm having a hard time making that leap from
Yeah, let me see if I can help.
her lying to us to me saying, oh, well, here's how you can help us by telling us the truth.
Oh, I know. I got something like to just fill the awkward. It's like, I'm glad you worked the night shift because yesterday I was over at the plant and I met this foreman, Spencer. Do you know him? He was a pain in my ass.
Oh, well, I mean, he's a pain in everybody's ass. That's why I switched to night shift.
Oh, smart move, I think, on your part. It was not comfortable being in his office. I tell you that.
Oh, well, I can't blame you. I mean, why were you there anyway?
Well, I just heard some stories, this urban legend that somehow I never knew about yet. And so I just wanted to go check it out. I knew it was at the meat plant, and he happened to be the one on shift at the time. And
I've really got to get some sleep. Maybe you guys can talk to me later after, maybe this evening.
so, do you work? So you don't work tonight?
No, I work tonight. I just, maybe, 5 o'clock or so before I go in for my shift.
Oh,
Okay, bye. And she's
sure.
doing you out the door.
Oh yeah, okay. You probably need your sleep anyway. I know that we got you when you were exhausted.
So her abrupt changing of the subject and kicking you out was, I mean, again, it's Carson's sense. She's
Yeah, he's
covering
like,
something up.
I
As soon
think that
as
was
you brought
clear to
up-
all of us, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, once you started pushing us out.
Yeah. What was it? So, I mean, guy, like as soon as I said something to her,
somebody mentioned the pig man, they clammed up.
yeah, she shut up. Which, I remember when we were talking to Rosalie, she said something about that.
I'm gonna literally stick my foot in her door so she cannot close it,
Oh,
and go. Look, we're just trying to get to the bottom of this. If there's something more that we will keep you out of this. We just need to know more so we can try and find this and stop it.
Okay, go ahead and manipulate.
Put up here.
I can actually, how's this sound? I could maybe help with that because of the protect. I guess you maybe don't need that. The protect someone.
Oh, if we want
to. I could tell her I want to protect her daughter. Like if her daughter's in any way in danger, I want to make sure that.
I think you should help because then we get a 10.
Yeah.
I'd push it to a 10. Yeah.
So I just have to.
I'll allow retroactive help out.
I got a 7.
Okay, so you're going to be exposed to the same danger as our friend Lucas, but it does get you up to a 10. She says, I don't think you can help. I know you mean well, but this is beyond anything you can imagine. And she just
can imagine a lot.
Takes your foot out and slams the door. And you hear the deadbolt latch and the chain go on.
So that success got us nothing other than something else is going on.
It got you that there is a bigger thing than just her missing work.
And it's connected to whatever we said about the pig man or.
Yes, it is.
Yeah.
You get a very clear sense that the pig man is connected, but she's climbing up about how. She either is unwilling to talk or unable to talk about it.
Okay.
Cool. I mean, and I kind of got that too, honestly, when I talked to Spencer, same thing. When I started talking about the plaque, it was like, totally.
Changed the subject very quickly.
Yeah. So I feel like we know that they're not going to talk about it. I think we need to look into that good old Jonah Valentino guy. Like we need to follow He's got family that moved away, but we don't know where they went.
Mm-hmm.
Else we have Argentina or Russia.
I would recommend heading to Russia. That was your plan. You probably already got tickets.
Yeah, that's what I was saying. We got to get to the airport soon, so
Yeah.
Let's go.
Let's do it.
Okay.
let's do it.
You have a long flight to Russia. Luckily for you, Norilsk is actually a tourist hub, being the northernmost city in the world. Also, the site of an entire city that was built by prisoners. So let me find the little read up here. So located on the northern edge of Siberia, Norilsk is the second largest city in the Arctic Circle and the northernmost city in the world, with more than 100,000 inhabitants. It was founded in 1935, established by the Soviet Union to exploit vast mineral resources. It was constructed using forced labor from the Norilsk Gulag. Poor conditions in the camp led to the uprising in 1953, the first major revolt in a Soviet Gulag. It's still an important mining center, and there are thousands of workers that relocate there every year for work. It is also a huge tourist destination in Russia. Not as big as, Moscow or St. Petersburg or any of those, but I mean, still pretty darn big. So you get there, there are signs in English. True to much of Europe, just about everyone speaks at least a little bit of English. At least enough to, ask directions to the nearest taxi or whatnot.
Yeah. So we can either just go straight to the, not beat around the bush, go straight to the meat packing plant. I guess that's where, they're always at meat packing plants, right?
Yeah, Samoylov, yeah.
Yep. So we
Samoylov.
can go there, or we can go, because I have an office here, like
Uh-huh.
everywhere. So we can go
Right.
there, research something, or I don't know. So what do you guys want to do?
Yeah, well, I think we could probably head there, but I'm just curious: would a quick Google search give us any kind of connection? Is there basically between the Argentinian death cult and Russia? Does there seem to be any kind of linkage there, just from cursory searches?
Would that be investigative mystery?
That would be, yes.
I don't have me do it. I've never -1.
A +1. Do you got better than that?
I've got my sharp is +2.
Okay. Yeah.
Okay.
You
Yeah, I
look
can
up
do a
and see if
Google
you find anything. Yeah.
Woof.
Seriously? Roll those
Yeah.
critical dice right now.
What in the hell?
Oh, well, that's an 11.
See, just stick with those.
All right.
Unless you wanted to fail. I'm fine with you failing if that's what you want.
No.
Turns
Okay.
out it's connected to connectivity problems.
That's my power went out.
Rosalie has posted an article talking about a new string of murders in the Samoylov meatpacking plant in Norilsk, Siberia, Russia. She names off 5 victims. The plant recently closed down when human remains were found in the outgoing shipment. It's suspected the murders happened several days ago. It follows the same pattern as other murders across the globe. Yada, 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 so on and so forth. In it are the names of some of the victims. So some of the victims' names are, let me see, where did it go? Ilya Nesterov. You've got Nikolai Davidov. And I should have highlighted these names. Sabrine Garin, or Garin. She's in the article. She notes that given the close ties between the Russian mob and the police forces, she doesn't expect that the investigation will get much of anywhere.
I almost feel like we should just go straight to the meat plant. I mean, we
Because
could
it
even
sounds like it's still shut down, right? So we can probably, yeah, it's going to be a little easier to
sneak in there. Yeah.
Okay. So when you head over to the meat packing plant, Semolov meat packing plant is a large industrial building on the outskirts of the city. It's showing its age. It was originally built by the prisoners in 1935. It had a couple of minor retrofits in the 60s, but almost nothing since. Most of the plant is kept at near freezing temperatures. There are no live animals on site, but there are animal carcasses hanging everywhere in various states of being broken down. It is not terribly sanitary, and it is nightmare fuel, especially with all the lights off. You do see an area that's been taped off with caution tape, obviously in Russian, as you explore the plant. The security on it is not tight at all.
It's weird. It's weird that there's not really security if they think that somebody was killed.
Mm-hmm.
The area inside the caution tape has been mostly cleared out. It looks like there are buckets full of industrial solvents standing by waiting to clean the area.
I'm going to try and get out my ghost hunting apparatus and see if it just kind of gives us any kind of pings, if there's any particular areas that kind of give us where we might start looking for stuff.
I agree. I think that we need to spend a lot more time looking on the supernatural side.
Excellent. I want you to go ahead and investigate a mystery, Mike.
Okay. That'd be a 9.
9. Hey, that's good enough. So you can ask one of those questions or just say, "What do I get?"
Well, I think with the ghost hunting, kind of the what sort of creature is it is kind of what I'm trying to figure out. So was it just a purely human murder kind of thing, or was there supernatural?
So what you're getting is you're getting the obvious signs of people who are violently killed, but you're also getting 2 overlapping signals that are not, you don't see commonly, but they match what you found at the plant in Cleveland.
Gotcha.
And you're kind of getting the sense that this is an undead. So it is a reanimated corpse.
Gross.
All right. I'll let those guys know that. Getting the same signals. Living dead.
Kind of corpse, human corpse or animal?
Yeah.
Is it an anthropomorphized pig actually
Zombie
committing
pig. Zombie pig.
Don't know that, but I mean, if it's the pig man, he wore a pig's head as a mask, so.
All right.
Well,
We got us a zombie pig man.
looking around, what the type of animal debris do we see? What kind of animal?
In this area, it's primarily beef.
Okay.
But I mean, there are other parts of the plant that do pork as well. And
Right.
there's even some sheep and mutton going on, but it's a much smaller operation.
Should we go check out the pork section?
Yeah. Yeah.
Let's wander over.
Sure.
And I want to kind of keep my readings out to see if they notice any spikes as they're going there.
Yeah.
Okay. As you get closer, those readings start to spike even higher.
We're
And
going the right direction, guys.
so you see one of those, it's not a conveyor belt, but it's a set of metal casters where they'll just roll the rack of meat down it.
Mm-hmm.
And as you hold your ghost hunting equipment near there, it just spikes off the charts. I mean, as strongly, if not more strongly, than where you found the pothole. You get the sense that something really bad happened right there. I want all of you to read a bad situation, which is plus sharp.
I got a 5 minus. No. 8 minus 1. So I got a 7.
Okay.
Got an 8.
I get experience.
You get experience. So Lucas is so focused on his equipment
Uh-huh.
that he's not paying attention to everything else. The other two of you can ask one of those questions. Do you see them? Let me share my
Totally
screen.
forgot you can do holds in this game.
Yeah. So you can hold off and ask a question later, but I would recommend asking it now.
Yeah.
So the questions are, what's my best way in? What's my best way out? Are there any dangers we haven't noticed? What is the biggest threat? What's most vulnerable to me? What's the best way to protect the victims? Or you can just ask for me to freeform something for you, which I'm
I want
happy.
to ask, are there any dangers we haven't noticed yet?
Yes, there are. And although they are not immediate, you get a very clear sense that this is not a place you want to be when those dangers are around. This right here specifically.
Okay. And then
Like I'd be fine in the beef section, but not the pork section?
No,
Or
we're just
on a
right
grander
around
scale.
these rollers,
Oh, okay.
actually.
That localized.
Yes, that localized.
okay, then I guess more specifically, what's the biggest threat? Like the single.
Okay. The biggest threat, as you turn around, is a hulking shadow.
That scared the shit out of me right when you said that. That was very perfect timing, I guess.
The hulking shadow you see behind your friend Carson, holding a meat cleaver with the head of a pig that suddenly disappears.
Okay, so
And it's a
I'm gonna-
danger.
Yeah,
It is a danger.
I'm going to act on the fact that there's danger that I haven't noticed. I'm going to step away from the rollers
Okay.
so that I get that +1 ongoing.
Okay, perfect.
That's relevant.
Yes. Okay. What are you gonna do?
So I have this amazing thing, battlefield awareness. So I always know what's happening around me and what to watch out for. So I have +1 armor on top of whatever I have, which means I feel like I'd step in front of Carson.
Okay.
I don't know if it's still there because it was a shadow, but I think I'd step in front of him.
Yeah, it's more like a silhouette. So he was backlit.
Silhouette. Okay.
So you just see this shape of a giant, like probably 7 feet tall, giant pig head shape on his shoulders. And it disappears between when you look at it and when you like blink back.
It's just not there. Okay.
But you know something was there. You know it was there. You know what you were looking at.
Right.
Even.
So I think that I would, because something was there. I think I would do that.
Okay, so you
Yeah.
step in front of Carson, and Lucas is still staring at his equipment, not having noticed
Like
anything.
a doofus.
Hey, but he's getting
Focus.
experience out of this.
Like, we're all over there panicking and climbing on top of each other, and he's just like, do, 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 do.
I'm like, hey, I think there might be something here, guys.
All right. So, what are you guys gonna do now?
Scream and no,
You're a professional. Come on.
that's what I would do in real life, because I'm like so like alert right now.
Can I read a bad situation again?
Sure, I'll allow it.
Oh, got a 13.
Oh, okay.
Whoa.
You want to ask questions, or you want me to freeform?
I guess technically I get a 14 because I have that +1 from acting on that information.
Holy crap!
Nice.
You read the crap out of that situation.
Yeah, just freeform it.
Okay. So as you're sitting there, you realize that Charlemagne's got your back, so you take a second to look more closely. As you're looking at these rollers, you can see that there are impressions on the underside of so there's a bar that holds the rollers in place. On the underside, you can see that there are places where people's fingernails have dug in, and there's bloody fingerprints reaching, going up. And you see that there are ropes that have been discarded behind it. There were about a half dozen people tied up sitting on this, which is facing a giant bandsaw.
This is
Okay.
awful.
By which they were forced to watch as somebody else was murdered.
Hmm.
So you're saying there was
And that there was some supernatural force at work in addition to.
So
whatever happened or whatever was doing this tied people up and made them watch
Mm-hmm.
as one by one they were put through the bandsaw, or just
As
Or is
somebody else was, and then
Okay.
the bonds were cut. So you don't have a sense of what happened after that, but you do know
Sure.
that something supernatural was impacting them beyond just the fact that they were tied up and whatnot. I mean,
So
that was all very, mundane. There was something else going on as they were sitting there.
this is something I should not necessarily investigate, but someone should maybe investigate a mystery, because we have some good questions we can ask.
Yeah, you do.
Yeah. I have just negative sharp, so I just always hesitate.
got a 10, 11 if that +1 is still
Holy
relevant.
crap.
Nice.
It's not, but it doesn't matter because you succeeded.
Yeah.
So ask your questions, or I can freeform it.
What type of supernatural? Like what exactly is it?
Okay. As you're looking over this, you've read about this, but you didn't really think it. You thought it was more a psychological thing, not so much a supernatural thing. They are becoming the monster. They were forced to watch this, and the supernatural element involved is making them into miniature
Pigmen.
versions of the pigman.
Pigmen.
Pigmen.
Okay.
And you also get the sense from this that these were people who were abducted.
That's what I was going to say. I think we need to investigate people who went missing, just like the people back home.
Yeah. I'm wondering if the people that went missing
Are the ones that did the murdering under
Yeah,
the
so then it
supernatural
came back
influence?
and changed back into human form.
Mhm.
That's why I asked that woman if she was drinking more than normal.
Yeah. And by which the answer is yes. But you still have another question, or you can ask.
Oh,
Where did it go?
yeah, like where is this originate? Like what is the origination of whatever is happening?
Okay. So you've gotten the sense from the legends and everything that's happened so far that the pigman was only ever interested in brutal murder. The previous MO, there was none of this, tying people up to watch. It was just he got a kick out of killing people. So there is clearly some other influence happening here to have him change his MO in this way. And something far more clever than Gary Guess would have been in life to be able to cover it up as well as they have.
This reminds me of a movie I saw. Yeah.
Now, I would point out Lucas has been getting 2 separate, signatures,
That's true.
True.
but they're following just right on top of each other.
So should we see if it goes anywhere else in the? I mean, we've survived this long.
I can keep making investigate rolls if you want.
What else do we have?
Yeah, well, I'm going to see if my gear will help me say, they saw it, I didn't, but yeah, I'm trying to figure out where did it go? Like if it was here and then disappeared, I'm trying to figure out where is it now, where to go.
Let's review what you guys know so far, and then maybe if we get a clear picture of that, you'll have
an idea.
A clearer path forward.
Okay.
So, what do you guys know about the murders?
We know people were dismembered. They were not necessarily at the meat plants either.
Mm-hmm.
And that supposedly the original murderer jumped into a meat grinder.
Yep.
We know people disappeared.
Yep.
For a few days and then came back.
We know or can speculate that they didn't just disappear, that they were turned into pigmen and potentially committed more murders.
Right, that's something we can suspect based on everything you just
discovered.
Yep. Let's see, what else do we know? We know about the death cult in Argentina.
Connected in some way.
Yeah.
There's
some kind of undead
supernatural, undead supernatural things happening.
For sure, especially in the pig area, but not just in the pig area.
Excellent. I think that's good. So given that you suspect that people were forced to become pigmen, you've seen a silhouette of a pigman. How do you guys want to proceed?
I don't know. I feel like we should still look in another section, like the mutton section, just to see if there's something kind of like what happened in the beef area, that's the area they're cleaning too. That's the thing. They're not cleaning the area where we're getting all the stuff.
Interesting. Yeah. Yeah, let's see what happened in the sheep area.
Yeah, just for nothing else, for a control in the research.
Okay. So as you go through, just gonna give this to you, your sensor starts to go off, but in spurts. Like your, so if you're walking in a line that's, this, you're walking across it like this. So it's like a spurt here, a spurt here, a spurt here, a spurt here. So it's like you're crossing a path of supernatural evil.
Okay. Like a ley line or some kind
but
of
there's
thing.
nothing quite as strong as what you found earlier in the mutton butchery area.
So should we see if this goes outside? Or should we go further in?
You follow that line.
Yeah.
Yeah, let's follow that that line. Is it pointing us back to the where we came from in the pork area, or is it
No, it actually leads out a side door.
okay? Interesting. Yeah, let's follow it.
As you go to the side door, you notice that the door was chained shut,
Mm-hmm.
and the chain has been broken.
Oh, nice.
Broken. Like, is there
Not
damage on the
broken.
door? Like the chain was...
There is damage on the door, but it's more like a gash in the door. Like somebody just hacked that chain and broke it just by sheer force.
Oh, wow.
Lord.
And the trail leads right out that door.
I'm gonna...
All our shotguns came through on the plane just fine, right?
Yeah. As far as I can tell, Customs didn't take our stuff because the check mark is still in my box. So I'm gonna just get
Yep.
my shotgun out. I have a rifle too, but I'm feeling like I want a wider spray.
Okay, so your
Gonna carry
organization
it.
allowed you to get through customs. They have a deal with the mob to let them smuggle stuff in.
Nice. Yeah, that sounds about right.
Oh, the mob runs everything. I know a guy who lived in Siberia for a while, and he talked about how he had a friend who needed to get medical attention out in one of the outlying villages, and he didn't call any. He called the mob, made a deal with them. They got a helicopter out there, lifted him into the nearest hospital, and it was just no. You make a deal with the mob. You don't try to get paramedics on the line. You just make a deal with the people who have the power.
That's crazy. All right, we ready? I looked, back a little bit.
So you've got your
this door.
yeah. And you're following this path,
Mm-hmm.
and it's strong enough that you can follow it. And as you're following it, it leads you to several homes, and each of the homes has a shattered door, and it looks like there's a struggle inside them. And there's this, blood spatter here and there, and there's just a trail of drag marks leading from door to door.
Which way are they leading?
They are leading toward the outskirts of the city.
So they're leading from the
They led from the plant to the nearest little small community
Neighborhood.
Yeah.
neighborhood, and are going from there out toward the it's not quite a forest. It's more like a very sparse forest, just on the outskirts of town.
All right, let's go.
That's creepy. Let's do it.
People are gonna need our help.
Okay. So as you follow, you come up, and there is you see a little ways out, a fire has been started.
Like in a pit, or stuff's on fire?
No, like it's in a pit. It's contained, but not like perfectly round fire pit. It's more just out in the woods. You started a fire, but it's not spreading through the trees or anything.
Okay.
Camp types fire. There are 5 silhouettes on the ground, and you see a giant silhouette just beyond the fire.
Hmm. Does it have a pig head?
He does.
Oh man.
hooray!
I mean, does it see us? What this silhouette?
Not at the moment.
Do we want to?
Yes, you are far enough away that you could still back off without being seen, or you can do something different.
I mean, we're all armed, but it might be supernatural. I would at least
Yeah.
like to see, maybe
I was
not
gonna
run
do-
away, but observe for a minute.
I was going to do an investigate to see what can hurt it.
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, good. That's a good one. That's
Do
why
it.
you're on this team.
A 9.
9. Okay. Go ahead and ask your question.
What can hurt it?
the original Gary Guess was just a normal person. He was just a serial killer with a penchant. But since he's come back, you get the sense that he is more powerful now than he ever was before. It might take using some butchering equipment to actually hurt him.
Gross. I get it.
Yeah.
I mean, I have a knife, but I feel like it's not sufficient.
So are we gonna have to drag him back to the slaughterhouse?
Or lure him back. I feel like lure is the way it's going to have to go.
Yeah, so you get the sense cleavers, a filleting knife, the giant bandsaws, meat grinders. I mean, anything that's used to process meat would be sufficient.
Why didn't I take the big knife?
Right. Well, I have my well, it's an assault rifle. I have a rifle, but I mean, it's usually for taking out the meat. It's not for processing it, you know.
Enchanted dagger.
I do have a big knife.
Now the silhouettes on the ground, are those silhouettes because the light? But we think those are actual people that are they still moving or are they dead?
You're not close enough to tell.
Okay.
So tempted to just yell out, "Sweet!"
Be a smart mouth. Do it.
Do it.
I don't know, man.
I have some pretty good protection if you need to be protected. I have good kick-ass. And I have an option for acting under pressure. So if you created something pretty tense, there's a lot potentially that I could do. But I'd have to have a tense situation.
Yeah, and going along with alluring him is see if we can't get these people, take them back to the planet, have them trying to follow us back there. But I don't know if we can get them away without him immediately jumping on us at that point.
And we also don't know if they're like victims or if they
That's
would
true.
also try to kill us.
Are they possessed now?
I'm gonna signal you guys to run.
Okay.
And then I'm gonna yell out "Sui" and start running back towards.
So you want us to run before you yell "Sui"?
Give us a little head start.
As you guys are going to do that, the silhouette raises a hand with a giant cleaver in it, and this cleaver starts to fall. Are you yelling "Sui" right now?
Yeah, but I'm also running.
Okay. It falls, and then the pig head whips around and stares in your direction.
Oh God, I'm gonna have nightmares tonight.
Like when you say that was falling, is it like he's like gonna try and he's like maybe was about to hack up one of the people on the ground?
You can't see what he's hacking up because all you're seeing are shadows and silhouettes.
Yeah, okay. The fire is between us and him.
Okay, turns and looks after it hacks.
Yeah. So you can tell that the head turns to look in your direction.
We're all running.
Does it?
I mean,
Does it swivel like it's not attached to the body?
No, it's attached to the body.
Okay.
Yep. You get the sense that this, like just from the way that moved in your glimpse, that is a pig head on a human body, except not just any human body. It's like a giant beefed up zombie human.
I think of like Jason.
Yeah, a little bit. Yep.
So is it following us or just looking?
I want you guys to read a bad situation because you guys are running and you need to.
So we all have to roll, right?
You can choose to if you wish.
All right, I'll do it. It's not going to be good.
So that'd give me a 7.
Okay, 7. That's pretty good.
I have a 5.
Okay, go ahead and mark an experience and.
A 12.
Oh, nice. Okay. Well.
We have some good rolls.
You are the reader of bad situations.
I'm going to give you both the same general information, and then Thomas, you can have Carson ask an additional question for whatever. So the sense you both get is he doesn't chase you right away. He turns back, and you see the cleaver fall several more times, and you hear screams.
Oh.
As it does. So Carson, what are your additional questions? You get two more. So.
Yeah, how can we get him back to the plant?
Okay. He will go there on his own.
Okay.
But if you wait, it might
But
be
not
too
until
late.
he's hacked up everybody.
What do you mean you mean if we wait till he
Till he
comes
goes on
back?
his own. Yeah, if you attack him directly, it's likely he will chase you.
All right. I will fire my 9mm at him.
Okay. I want you to.
Sorry, I have forced everybody into this. I just figured it was the best option.
My character should have just tried to attack, and we probably would all be fine right now. So.
No, yeah. When I realized he's hacking people, probably my never again would have kicked in. I'd be like, we gotta protect those people.
Yep.
Well, if you heard screaming, you could turn back. But
yeah. I think that's
when
when I hear
totally
this.
late.
Yep.
Okay, so what's your role, Mr. Carson? Mr. Wachowski?
It's a 3, but I do get a +1 because I'm acting on that information I got. So it's a 4 again.
Okay, mark XP.
Should I use lucky here, guys?
Or what was it you were rolling for?
He's shooting the dude with the 9mm, trying to stop him from the hacking.
You know, it's up to you because I can always fire. I don't have to keep running, right? So you could miss, and then I could fire at him. So.
Yeah, I mean, I don't even know what.
But you have a consequence.
Yeah, and that's why I'm wondering if I should use a 12 or a luck.
Well, I don't think one shot's going to kill him, so it's probably
no.
So using luck, I would still give everyone else a chance to do.
Yeah, and the point is not necessarily even to hurt him at this point.
To get him to follow
stop
us.
him, to stop him from hacking at the bodies.
Get him to follow us. Yeah, I'll use a luck.
Okay, smart choice.
Do I still take the experience because I rolled the 4, or is it?
No, it replaces your. So, on a 10, you choose an extra effect. You gain the advantage, take a +1 forward, or give a +1 to somebody else. You inflict terrible harm, +1 harm. You suffer less harm, or you force them where you want them.
Mm.
So it's going to be an attack. It's going to deal harm, except that, he's not going to take harm. But
well, then I'm going to force him to come our way. I'm going to force him to do whatever he's doing.
That's perfect. That's exactly what you wanted to happen. So your shot hits him right in the fleshy pig snout. And he looks up, and you swear you can see the red glow in his eyes. He lets the cleaver fall one last time and then starts lumbering after you.
Oh, good. He's slow.
Yeah.
All right.
I think while they're trying to lure him back, my first instinct is check on those people. So I may be trying to go wide to the side and kind of go see if there's anything I could do to help them, or if they're all too late.
Okay, would you like that to be a protect someone or an act under pressure?
Well, if it's a protect someone, I automatically get as if I rolled a 10+. So.
Well, then we'll call it that.
Yeah, with my never again, I can choose to protect someone without rolling, and it gives me a 10+, but I can't choose to suffer a little harm as the bonus.
Because you weren't the one shooting at him and you're a little wide off, so you're able to take a path around, sneaking through the sparse trees. And as you get up to the fire, you see that there were 5 people tied up on the ground facing the fire.
Mm-hmm.
On the opposite side, you see a person who is sadly still alive and missing parts.
Oh.
Now they're unconscious,
Mm-hmm.
and the other people are sobbing and just freaking out
All right. Well,
as you get there.
okay. I think I'm going to try and use my dagger and just cut the bindings of the people that are still freaking out there.
Okay, I want you to read a bad situation.
Okay. Sharp. So that would be a 9.
On a 9.
I feel like they're tied up for the same reason they were tied up inside the plant.
So you can go ahead and ask your question.
So what's the best way to protect the victims? Probably.
Leave them tied up
Okay. Okay.
and kill the beastie.
Right. Yep.
Okay, I think I'm gonna, in this case, because that thing is moving slowly, probably toward Carson, right?
Yes.
I think that I'm going to go with to kick some ass.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm gonna do some kick some ass.
Okay.
It's my shotgun, probably. I got an 8 plus 2, so 10.
10. Okay. So you inflict the harm rating of your weapon. However, unfortunately, the pigman is immune to normal attacks. So you see the pellets hit him, dead on, center of mass. And while it slows him for a split second, it just makes him more angry. And so you see the fleshy holes in him are still there as he's lumbering forward. And when I say lumber, I mean, yes, he's not moving quickly, he's not running, but I mean, he's 7 feet tall. Each step is pretty long.
So, Carson, it depends on what you're doing, because I can also roll to protect someone.
Now you do get an extra effect from your attack. So what were you trying to do other than, just harm him?
Really, that's what I was trying to do. I was trying to harm him because, first of all, he's coming toward one of our people, and that's I want to at least slow him down, but to stop him would just be glorious.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, you could choose to force them where you want them to keep them going, so that we're heading back to the meat packing place.
Right. Okay, so I want to force him where I want him, but I want to
Yeah.
divert him from Carson. I don't want him
Okay.
to.
Gotcha.
So he's now focused on you.
That's cool. I'm a little further away.
Okay. So you've got him coming toward you. You're heading slowly back toward the meat packing plant. How are you guys going to handle this? Lucas is further behind, given that he spent some time checking on those victims.
I'm trying to remember, why are we trying to take him back to the meatpacking plant?
Because that's what can harm him is the meat.
That's right.
packing.
Thank you. All of a sudden I was. Yeah, let's.
Yeah, that was what prompted me to
Duh.
try and
Yeah, our weapons aren't going to hurt him. We got to get him back to the plant.
Yeah. I mean, I'll start running. If he's following me.
Okay. When you get back in the plant, there is a strange purple glow coming from the pork processing area.
How far away is Lucas at this point? Because I know he's behind everyone.
Let's ask Mike. Is Lucas going to try to run past the zombie pig dude, or is he going to just kind of
I
follow
think
behind?
I'm just going to try and stay behind him, stay hidden, let them lure him to the plant, and I'll just be behind him once we get there.
Okay. For that, I want you to act under pressure plus cool.
Okay. That's plus 0, so 4.
Go ahead and mark an experience. Just the scent of rotting flesh coming off of this guy
Ugh.
makes you retch, and you can't just follow him.
Okay.
So you sprint past him,
Mm-hmm.
and he's going to take a swipe at you as you go past.
Okay.
So this is a time where another hunter can protect you if they so wish.
I would happily it depends on how far away I am.
Well, you probably hear Lucas saying,
Stretching.
going, guys, I'm coming!
Try and shoot him in the arm so he's
Yeah, I
not
was gonna
as
say.
good a swing to be as normal.
I can use my rifle. Well, that's kick some ass. That's not necessarily protect someone.
I would allow it because basically all you're trying to do is not hurt him. You're trying to deflect the harm
Okay.
that he would suffer.
Okay, my rifle, I get a longer distance, and it's loud. Okay. So let's do this. Oh, it's so bad. It's a 6. I mean, I got a +2, so it's a 6, but that's still so bad.
Okay, mark an experience.
Sorry, Lucas.
Okay, Lucas.
You hit me. No.
Take 4 harm.
4 harm?
No.
4 harm. You get cut by a cleaver.
You could use
and
luck
shot
there.
by a bullet. You could use luck.
Yeah, I think that would make me like unstable, right? So I think I'm going to use one of my lucks. Yeah.
So
avoid that harm.
Do some first aid. I have some pretty good pluses on that.
Yeah, I think I'll use the luck to avoid that harm.
Okay, so you're using your luck on your act under pressure?
Yeah.
Well, you can just use luck to avoid harm.
Well, yeah, it's just to avoid all harm from an injury.
Yeah, so
do that.
The bullet comes, like, you see her aiming at that cleaver as it's coming down at you, and you realize, I don't want that. No. Drop to the ground, and the bullet goes right through where your shoulder was going to be. The cleaver drops right where your arm was going to be. And the pigman doesn't bother stopping because, I mean, rifle versus dude on the ground.
Yeah.
And so he's going to lumber past you.
Okay.
So can I do an investigate check on the purple glow that's at the pork section?
Yes.
8.
Okay. Do you want me to freeform it, or do you want to ask a question?
Just go ahead and freeform it.
Okay. It is the light is coming from a purple disc that's hovering about 1.5 feet above the floor. It's angled at about 15 degrees from vertical, and it appears to be growing. It is right on top of the air, like right near the area where the people were forced to watch the murders.
So all we need is to get him into meat grinding. We don't necessarily need him back where the supernatural stuff is. Right? We just need to chop him up.
Yeah, we just got to use some of the implements of the.
Yeah, so we think. I mean, we don't really know what the purple thing is.
We're guessing, right?
Because Lucas is the one who'd be able to figure it out, and he's back here trying not to get his arm chopped.
I'm laying on the ground.
Yeah.
So you are aware there is a special move inside the plant. You can use any of the equipment, the power equipment, to deal 3 harm that's close and messy.
Cool.
So do we have a nice little hook nearby that's hanging? Something we can
like all around.
Are they like those mechanized hooks with like the power controls?
Yep. Well, some of them. Some of them are old.
Yeah. Sure.
Like I said, there have been a few retrofits here and there, but
I think I'm going to. That's probably stupid on my part since I've got a -1 on tough. So maybe I'm better suited to investigate the glowy disc.
Right, I have +2 on tough.
Okay.
So do you want me to do a hook, do you think, or should I just grab the nearest cleaver or whatever?
You do whatever you want. I was gonna just try and get a hook in him so that we can like lift him up into a grinder.
Okay.
But you do it however
That's
you
assuming there's a hook near him, which I think we would have to investigate, right? To find out if there's a hook near him.
Yeah. I mean, I'll allow you to say that there is one, especially if you roll well.
Okay, so let's just go for it. What I am so badass, I'm like an action hero. And I'm just gonna like jump up and swing a few times on a hook. And my goal is to drop and let it keep swinging. You know, I'm gonna use my weight.
Oh, okay.
So all kinds of disasters can come out of this. So it's a 7. I got a 7.
Okay. Just a quick question. Have any of you gotten 5 experience yet?
No.
Some of you got to be pretty close there.
I need 2
20.
more. Yeah.
I need 3 more.
Wow. All right. Well then, so you're 7. Basically, you swing that hook into him as he comes through the door. It swings into him. Now, you can choose to either have it deal damage, to snare him, or to make it so that he does not connect with you. Because when you do, when you're kicking some ass, you are both dealing harm to each other. It is a head-to-head competition.
Right. Well, I think I probably want to snare him.
Okay.
I wouldn't go through all that if that's
right. Okay. So he doesn't get his cleaver up in time, but he slugs you hard in the chest as you're letting go of that hook. Go ahead and take 2 harm. Armor would obviously negate.
Oh yeah, so I have so much armor. I have a +1, and then there's something else here that I saw. So I guess that means 2. I have heavy armor, plus I have a +1 because of my battlefield awareness.
Yep. So that's a +2 armor. So you managed to avoid getting hurt. So that fist knocks the wind out of you, but you're ready for you know how to deal with it, I guess is the way to put that.
Nice.
So that hook snares him right in under the clavicle here. Now his feet aren't off the ground because he's really ridiculously tall, but it will take him some doing to pull that out.
So I know you're investigating the purple thing, but we may also want to figure out how to raise up the hook so we can get him off the ground.
This may have been stupid on my part. I just assumed we would know how to operate a hook like that. There's like 2 buttons on the handles.
Right.
So I should
There's
just hit
usually
the
an
button.
up and a down.
Yeah, I just hit the button, the up button.
Okay. It raises. He can still touch the ground. It's more like, tippy toes. He can dance along, but he can't lift himself up with just his feet.
Okay.
So Thomas, was Carson investigating?
Yeah. 7.
7. Okay. What do you want to ask? Or do you want me to freeform?
What the heck is this purple disky thing?
Okay. You've read about these. It seems like it's the beginnings of a sorceress magic, which seems odd coming from this zombie pig dude. But it looks like it might become a portal.
Cool.
Which direction? We don't know.
This must have been the second source of magic that Lucas was.
Oh yeah, the second. Yeah.
Second signature.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Speaking of Lucas, Zombie Pigman walked past you, so now you are behind him, like you wanted to be in the first place.
Yep.
He has been.
Yeah. Well, I want to. He's on a hook now, right?
Yep.
So I want to kind of just grab some kind of implement and like closest meat cleaver or whatever I can find and try and kick some ass.
Okay, I want you to start by acting under pressure.
Okay, makes sense.
Because you got to dart past him because he's right in the doorway.
That's true. That's true.
So you got to dart past him and grab a cleaver.
That's a 6, so I'm going to get a little more experience.
Nice job. Okay, as you go past, he is going to grab you. He won't deal any immediate harm.
Mm-hmm.
But in his free hand that's not holding a massive cleaver, he grabs you by the back of your jacket and lifts you up, and you're just staring into rotting pig face.
Ooh, gross.
And he opens his mouth and brings you toward it.
I'm going to protect someone.
Okay, go ahead.
So I think I'm just going to, like, maybe jerk the rope that he's on. Like, you know how, like, you can make it drop and then raise back up again?
Okay.
Thing he's hanging on. Okay, yes, finally. I got 12.
Oh, very nice.
Woot.
All right.
To make up for the last time.
So, you protect them. So, he's able to drop down, and he absorbs the impact, but being back on his feet makes it so he is no longer focused on you so much, Lucas. So he drops you, allowing you to stagger back against some of the equipment without taking any harm. Now, Teauhna, you get to choose one more option. You can either suffer little harm because you would take whatever he took. The impending danger is now focused on you. You inflict harm on the enemy, or you hold the enemy back.
I mean, it's still hooked.
Yep. But if you don't control him, if you don't hold him back, he might become unhooked by this maneuver.
That's true. I'll hold him back. Like,
Okay.
I think that'd be fun.
So you press that up button real quick again, and he's
Yeah.
back to cookie toast.
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about.
Because what I was going to say, otherwise, if you hadn't chosen that, is the hook ripped out, and he's back on his feet.
I was totally imagining the same thing. So,
It's a very Brent thing to do.
yeah. So
Now,
Lucas,
just
you
warn
just
you
keep
about it.
crashing to the ground. You're like all the time.
I know. Lucas is just kind of not so great at acting under pressure.
That's not
But now
my
that you're right there next to the thing. So, Thomas, can you read a bad situation real quick?
The plus tough?
Yeah, no, plus sharp.
Oh, sharp. Yeah, that's what I meant. It's a 7.
Okay. I'm just going to give this to you. You hear running footfalls,
Okay.
and there are people coming into the plant.
Oh,
What's
we're
that?
gonna end up.
Plant.
Into
We're
the
gonna end
plant.
up in the gulag.
You don't know
Okay.
who they are yet, but it's not a good sign.
Yeah. It's probably other pigmen.
Yep.
Hmm.
Can I jump through this portal?
My God, don't divide the party.
I'm
God.
kidding. I wouldn't do that.
That's like a severe division.
You're welcome to try.
Oh man.
That's something that my player brain came up with. Carson would not do that.
All right. So you guys have got the zombie pigman skewered.
Is there a reason? Can we not lift him up higher than what he's already at?
No.
Okay. Would we be able to maneuver him so that he can be sliced with a bandsaw?
Oh, absolutely, yeah.
Yeah, we have so many
What
tools.
they're made for is to transport big old heavy hunks of meat
Yeah.
right
Well,
toward the chopping.
I was hoping we could raise him up to get him in a meat grinder, but
The bandsaw will work.
yep, that's all work.
So we
All
just
right.
You've got the control, Charlemagne. You want to kick some ass and see if we can
yeah, let's
drag
do
him
that.
over to the band?
Okay.
Okay, drag him over there. I'm getting so good at this machine. Let's see. I got a 12.
Nice.
Yeah.
Ooh.
Thank goodness.
Okay, so
You're
this
gonna be able
hook,
to get a job now.
this first one. So he's going to take harm from just being dragged over there. So you drag him toward the bandsaw, and because he's so tall and beefy, he gets right up next to the bandsaw that's on the conveyor, and just before he gets there, the hook rips off one arm. So one arm is still hanging on there, but he's now on his feet with the other arm with a big old cleaver in it.
So here's the thing, though. We did damage him with meat processing tools. Is that so,
He is hurt.
We
So
just got to keep doing that until he. Yeah.
we need to chop at him and stuff?
I mean, you can also just because you can't hurt him with your weapons doesn't mean they can't
Slow him down.
Move him, yeah.
Slow
Get
him
him
down
where we want him.
I mean, if you hit him with a baseball bat hard enough, he's going to fall over. And if he falls over into a bandsaw, that's not a good thing.
Well, there's two of us with shotguns. If we both just like, poof. I don't know. That's the sound my shotgun makes, apparently. Poof.
Okay. In the meantime, 3 people rush into the room.
Oh.
There's a surprisingly petite little woman. Let's see. Let me find the descriptions for them. A heavy-set man with a stereotypical Russian massive mustache.
Nice.
And and just what looks like a normal guy. So just a normal guy. And they rush in, and they look like they are going to just tackle you guys.
Oh man.
So you guys have a chance to react before they do anything.
So I don't know how I feel about firing a gun in this situation, with the loudness and the gunness of all of it. How is he positioned? What is he? Is he on something above the blade?
So he is straddling the meat, the bandsaw table.
Okay.
Mhm.
Like he's got one knee up on it, the other foot down, one arm with a cleaver, and the other arm just gone.
So we need
All
to
right.
put him
So
back
kind of
to-
need to like knock a leg out from under him or something so that he falls.
Yeah, I'm thinking. Yeah, we still want to try and maybe shotgun Pighead and see if we can't use that shot to like knock him backwards towards closer to the bandsaw.
So I probably should do it because my kick some ass is a little stronger than yours, right? I have the +2.
Yeah, I have a +2 as well, so we can both
Oh, okay, cool.
we can do that.
Because
Yeah,
my
yeah,
act
yeah,
under
that'd be
pressure is also high.
I do not
Yeah.
have that under pressure.
You could act under pressure to maneuver you could get another tool working on him at the same time.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay. So I'll act under pressure and you'll fire the shotgun? Is that what's happening?
Yeah, let's do that.
We're so going to get shot by like the mob or the police or somebody. Okay. So I have an 11.
Nice.
Yeah.
So what were you exactly trying to do?
Well, I think I'm just going to chuck something heavy, maybe swing another one of those hooks, but I'm knocking his leg out from under him, like so that he
Okay.
falls on the blade.
Okay, I like that. So you grab one and you swing it, trying to knock him off balance, and it hits him right in the snout, and he tilts back dangerously.
Like
And
away
he
from
is,
the blade?
toward the blade. So
Okay.
he is facing you. The blade is to his back.
Okay.
And so the hook hits him in the face, and he just staggers back. At
Then
the
I
same
want
time,
to try.
Lucas.
Yeah, I want to try and unleash my shotgun on him, push him back a little further. That would be 13.
Holy
Woo!
crap. Okay, so that shotgun blast just does the tiniest little bit of extra push and knocks him back into that blade. And that
Yes.
blade cuts deeply into his torso, dealing another 3 harm. And as he levers himself out, he leaves behind just a massive chunk. Somehow he's still going despite the fact that he's missing most of his torso at this point.
Kind of expected that. What?
Okay, go ahead.
I'm just a little worried about these other people.
They will be doing something as soon as Carson gets a chance to act.
Well, I think with that 10 plus, though, I think, do I want to do an extra damage to him or give a +1 forward to, I think I might want to give a +1 forward to Charlemagne. So next time she
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
goes against him, I think I'll do that. I'll give +1 forward to Charlemagne on her next attack.
Okay, Teauhna, you have +1 to your next roll.
Okay.
Okay, Thomas?
Are they like coming towards me specifically?
Not you specifically, they are rushing the group.
Okay.
And as they come closer, you see that they have cleavers and other sharp
heads?
instruments.
Do they have pig heads?
They do not have pig heads.
I will fire my 9mm.
Okay.
Like at them?
Yeah,
Okay.
it's a 4. Or is it a 12?
Your choice. Is it a 12 or is it a 4?
Because they may not be attacking us either. We don't know.
What else? Why would they be rushing in?
I think
They could have
they're
heard a
possessed little
ruckus.
piglet.
It could be if we kill this guy too, if they are possessed, they'll stop being possessed.
Yeah, I'm guessing that, but will he survive the?
So, maybe.
I think it's probably Illa, Nikolai, and Sabrine or whatever.
Yeah.
Well, then maybe I shouldn't fire.
No, you already rolled, so you shot.
All right.
It's a matter of whether what happened because of it.
I think you should accept the consequences. Don't use a luck.
All right. When I
Me.
failed.
Use your judgment.
Wait,
Don't just listen to me.
some experience. Could scare him still.
Your bullet zooms right past one's ear and hits the junction box. The bandsaw powers down along with all the other power equipment.
Damn.
But isn't Pigman currently in the act of being engaged by the bandsaw?
Yes.
So he's stuck on the bandsaw. You can't get up. Like the bandsaw has to move for things to get past it.
Is it a bandsaw or a spinning saw? What was
It's
it?
a bandsaw.
Either way.
Okay.
I talked about how he moved off and it ripped off a piece
He
of his
just
torso.
ripped
It's not like
off
he's
a
like
piece of himself off.
super
Yeah.
strong.
Oh, okay. Okay.
Yeah.
I thought he was still like currently engaged with it.
Well, I mean, it's still in the gap of his torso.
Right, but it's not like
It's not
stuck
up.
in it. Like it cut a chunk off of him.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right, so the power tools are no longer functioning. And at this point, all 3 of your of Gary's thralls are going to attack you. So they are going to come up. They are going to engage, and you won't take any harm right now, but they are trying to cut you off from harming him. So one stands between Carson and the portal, and the other 2 stand between Charlemagne and Lucas and the
Gary.
pig man. While the pigman rises unsteadily, because, I mean, half of him is gone, and grunts.
Oh, jeez.
He doesn't squeal.
No, he grunts.
Oh.
Squealing comes for victory. Okay, what are you guys going to do? The problem is I can't harm you unless you fail rolls.
Right.
I don't know. What about if I don't know this. I don't know if this is kick some ass or act under pressure, because I can just pick up like a cleaver, because there's all kinds of hand things, and just chuck it at him.
I'd call that kick some ass.
Okay, and I would do it over, because like as much as I want these people not to attack me, I need to kill this guy.
Right.
Okay, I'm gonna kick some ass.
You get +1.
Oh, that's right. Cool. Yeah. Sweet. I have an 11 + 1.
Nice.
12.
Okay, so I'm going to say cleavers do 2 harm.
Okay.
So you got a 10+. You get to choose an additional thing.
Is there a list of the additional things?
Yes, so I'll give it to you real quick.
Okay.
You can take a +1 forward or give a +1 forward. You inflict additional harm, +1. You suffer less harm, -1 harm, or you force them where you want them.
What about these advanced? What about these advanced ones that are on 12+?
One of the improvements you can get is to make a move advance.
Oh, I see. Okay.
So, I don't know. What do you guys think? Should I just add 1 more harm to? Because I'm gonna be fine.
Probably, yeah.
I think probably add more harm.
Okay.
Okay, so you add 1 more harm. As you throw that cleaver, one of his thralls takes a knife and just sticks you with it. That's going to be a 2 harm, and your armor will probably negate that.
It does. Yeah.
Okay. So he sticks you. You feel it, but you're not actually hurt.
Nice.
So you managed to absorb that wound.
Let me make sure that there's nothing about stabbing.
Yeah.
No, it's fine.
Okay.
Yeah.
Excellent. Okay. So Charlemagne just chucked a cleaver at the zombie pigman. Lucas, what are you doing?
I think I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to try and huck a blade at the pigman, which I know will open me up to the little guys, but I'm thinking if we can get him down as quick as possible, probably better off. So it'd be this +2. So it'd be 8.
Okay. So you successfully chuck it. However, you will take 2 harm.
Okay.
And as you do, the pig screams in an almost human voice, "I succeeded!" and crumples.
No.
From the corpse rises a glowing bluish purple sigil in the shape of a sword. When you look behind you, that portal has opened. It is 8 feet in diameter, and the sigil goes through the portal. And the portal is starting to close.
Oh, maybe we should have reasoned with the beast.
Well.
You mean the purple portal that's like behind me?
Yep, it's starting to close. The thralls are they just fall unconscious.
What if I dive through the portal?
Do it.
He just wants to so bad. Let's all do it. We'll just like lock arms and just.
Okay, so at this point, whoever goes through the portal will be in the finale.
Go for it.
I mean,
So
I am closest.
all of you are welcome. because we only have the 2 sessions going through and only the 3 of you are in this one, you're all invited if you want to be there. It's tomorrow at 4.
Let's do it. Let's dive in.
Yeah, I'm gonna jump through.
Yeah. I want to see what's in there.
Is the sigil like? Does it have a physical presence? Like, could I grab onto it as it goes by me?
Yes, actually.
And have it drag me through?
Sure.
Sweet.
Neat. That's so beautiful. I need to paint this.
I want you to take 2 harm magic.
Oh,
Dang.
should I use my luck to undo that damage?
Well, I can roll to heal
Be able
you.
to heal you, yeah.
Well,
Save it.
does the damage, does the harm roll through to the finale?
Yes, it will. Your character will be exactly as they are now, except that I will give you all 1 free improvement.
Okay.
So, I mean, I can. The thing is, if I do fail, just so as you know, you get an extra harm. But otherwise,
Well, if you do that, then I become unstable.
yeah.
You guys can play it through on the next during the finale.
Yeah, I
So,
can heal you when we get on through the other side.
Yep.
Or I can just use luck to not take it.
That's true, because we haven't used any luck, so
I've used 1 luck.
we might be able to support you in that in the future too.
Yeah.
Or I guess you could use a luck to when you.
Heal.
When I heal you, if it
Heal.
fails,
Yeah.
that's probably
Yeah.
a better way to go, because I haven't
Yeah.
used any.
Let's do that.
Okay. Excellent. So you 3. So
Well, it's actually my wife's birthday tomorrow, so I'm not going to be in the finale.
Okay.
So I got to figure out narratively why I would stay behind.
well,
You're not
people are
fast
concerned
enough.
about the victims.
I was going to say,
That's true. That's true. I'm all about probably going over to the thralls and kind of. My first reaction is to go check out the thralls while these guys jump through the portal, and then it closes, and I'm like, what?
That makes sense. I'm totally with you on that.
Yeah,
That's
thought
cool.
that
I
would
like
make
it.
sense. Yeah,
And that's awesome with the concept of your character.
that's true.
Perfect. So Carson grabs this sword sigil and feels it burning through him, like his blood is on fire as he gets pulled through this portal. And Charlemain jumps after him, shotgun in one hand, rifle in the other. Jumps through the portal as it snaps shut behind her. While Lucas kneels down next to one of the thralls and picks them up, saying, "You're going to be okay." Despite the fact that you've suffered almost irreparable mental damage.
Maybe they won't remember.
Yeah, maybe you can hope, right?
It's all a bad dream. It was all a bad dream.
Oh my god, that was beautiful.
That's
So I know that the first part of the investigation went a little bit slowly. You guys actually caught on to a couple things that I wasn't figuring you guys would catch on to and grasp quite so quickly. The connection to the death cult was one.
Well, she is a professional, so.
Yeah.
So the session that Robert's running is actually, that is the, that guy, forget his name again. Jonah Valentino is the villain. And first is in the villain in the
Nice.
Robert's running right now.
That's so cool.
That is so cool.
He actually, backstory on the pigman, he was trained by Jonah, and Jonah sacrificed him to gain an extended life from the god of necromancy. And then when he needed some additional help, resurrected a body for him out of various random parts from other corpses, and imbued him with with Gary's lost soul from hell and the soul of war.
Oh, wow. That's pretty awesome.
That is way awesome.
So the idea with the 4 sessions was it's supposed to be the 4 horsemen of the apocalypse, except not quite so powerful as the horsemen. It's more like the 4 bike messengers of the apocalypse.
Or motorcyclists of the apocalypse.
Not as cool as that either.
All right. So who's this Charles guy, or will we find out later?
Charles?
Yeah.
Remind me.
He's the one who got us started. He's the one who sent the email.
Oh, yes, you
He's the
will find
little
that
one
out later.
Okay.
He does come into it.
Who's going to be running the finale? Both of you guys, or?
We were planning to have Robert run the story and me help with mechanisms while we were planning on having 8 people. I'm thinking we're going to be lucky to have the 5, so Robert and I will be discussing it. I think what'll probably end up happening, depending on how many people go through to the finale, is one of us will be running it and one of us will be playing it.
Oh, cool.
How many people are signed up for the sessions tomorrow, the morning sessions?
Nobody signed up for the sessions tomorrow.
Yeah, for me, I wanted to. The timing is no good.
Yeah.
Only because I have stuff like that overlapped everything just a little bit.
Yeah, it's really unfortunate. And I mean, you know, it's a thing that happens sometimes. So what'll happen is the spirit of war, or the demon of war, will be one of the enemies you are facing there. And the embodied spirits of famine and pestilence will be there as well.
That's
So
cool.
essentially their plots succeeded because nobody was there to stop them.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
But the god of war, or the spirit of war, said that he succeeded.
Well, succeeded at one part.
Hmm.
Not a full success. He only got like a 7.
Right. Yeah. The big difference there is you deprived him of his physical host,
His
which made him
corporeal being.
stronger.
That's pretty awesome. That's awesome. Well, thanks so much for doing this. This is so
Yeah.
cool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, Brent,
Yeah.
do you